training camp started with this group and continue to build on what you guys did last year?
Man, I'm super excited, man. We got a really, really talented, really eager group of dudes. You know, I'm super, super excited to get training camp started tomorrow and just see where we can go with this team. I definitely put on a few pounds, man. I mean, I said it this right before the season ended that I was going to change some things this summer, and I did, man. I did. Got a little more weight. You know, I feel good.
Finishing through contact, obviously, that's going to help. I would think.
Yeah, man. I mean, just all that, just stronger to help defensively, just especially make it a little easier to finish around the rim. Just I feel like I improved everywhere, man. I think that was one of the key areas I had to lock in.
What do you think it is?
Magnificent. I think that's a pretty good word for this. Spectacular, amazing, awesome. It's a bunch of adjectives I could throw around for this facility, man. And just shout out to everyone that made this happen, man. Because this is state of the art right here.
You're entering your third season now. I know you're still young guys, still a pretty young team. Do you feel like you're one of the veterans on this team? Do you feel like you know how to navigate training camp and know how to prepare yourself for the season?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think I've been now. I do kind of feel like a vet, especially on this younger team. I've been here a few times, and just I want to help the young guys, help honestly everyone on this team, just help this team be the best we can, and just I think we got a chance to be special.
Coach Mosley talked throughout the offseason, before the end of the season about leveling up this year.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
I mean, shoot. We had a little chat in the locker room before we came out here, and he talked about leveling up, like what that means. It's just when you level up, your room for error gets smaller, you improve, stuff becomes harder, but the rewards the benefits, all that you reap, become greater. So as we level up, become better, become a better team, I think that it ain't gonna be easy, but it's something that's necessary for us to on our path to greatness.
Hey, Swole, how is your bond with the team so far this summer?
My fault. I'm sorry. Can you start that over? I didn't hear the first part.
I said, Swole, how is your bond with the team? How you guys been this summer? And how you think Paolo's going to fit in once things get going?
Man, I don't think Paolo's going to have a problem. I don't think he would have had a problem fitting in any team he would have gone to. That kid is super talented, and it's crazy. I mean, I was talking about this, I think, with my pops the other day. Someone, I'm like, yo, like, Paolo, like, he don't even understand a lot of nuances of the game yet. Like, we playing at open gym. He's scoring off straight skill. And I'm like, dude, you 250, dude. Hit someone. Like, he not even, like, he don't even understand how to use his body yet, I think that's a great thing. Because he's already so effective without even doing that. It's just when he learns these little nuances of the game that it'll just make it so much easier for him. I mean, look, just for me, I use everything as motivation. Whatever it is, I can motivate myself on a rainy day, whatever it is. But I think for the team, I think everyone is, we're very apparent of like kind of what the image of the Orlando Magic is, like the lack of respect people have for us. And I think everyone on this team is going to use that as motivation just to help just make us a better team, help be better, help win games. And so I think, man, that anything's possible. And I think that if we just, as a group, if we can, one, I think staying healthy is going to be the big thing. Two, we just don't lose confidence and also have confidence in each other. I think, as I said, anything's possible. You're the second person to bring that up to me, and I actually it reminds. I haven't really said much about it, so I'm gonna have to say something to him today. Just it feels like an obligation at this point. You know what? It's just I was so focused on him. Now being my teammate, I'm like, shoot, that's the past. I ain't gonna reminisce on the past. But now, I think I gotta say something. Just because you're the second person to bring it up to me.
Coach Mosley mentioned part of your conditioning is going to be playing and scrimmaging with your teammates and getting chemistry down pat. How does that make you feel knowing that training camp is going to be you guys just playing basketball day in and day out?
Shoot, man. I mean, that's a dream come true. I mean, I told my parents, my friends years back. I'm like, I just want to play basketball with no other obligation, no other. I don't want to worry about. So I want to do none of that. I want to just play basketball. And that's literally what I'm getting paid to do. That there ain't nothing better to do than that. Like that's literally the best job in the world.
With Paolo, what does his addition to the lineup what can that do for you and some of the other guys?
I think it'll be really unique having now a dude like Paolo and Franz, two dudes about 6'10" who can handle the ball. I mean, I think when I think of stuff like that, I think of dudes like just Jokic. A lot of you get like Jokic, you get dudes like Giannis, big dudes who are handling the ball. All right, cool, you got guards coming setting screens now. Like it allows me to be off the ball. Lets me get easier shots, and then also at the same time I allow them to create mismatches for them. They get a 6'2" dude on them. It's just I think it opens up just a world of possibility.
Jalen saw Franz play really well. How much do you see out of him this year?
Yeah, I mean I think he's definitely gonna get on-ball reps. I think he's already awesome off the ball. I think he's just getting infinitely better on the ball. I think for Franz, I think he's an all-star. I think he's an all-star caliber player, and I think he got a chance to be one of them dudes.
Just a couple of words. What do you want the identity?
Shoot, that's a good question. Nah, not that. Let's see. I'll say tough, and obviously I think an easy one is winners. I think right now we kind of. I think most teams in the league look at kind of the laughing stock of the league, and I think that we want to change the narrative.
Cole, what are some
goals for yourself? Last year it was big for you on the defensive end.
Yeah.
Coming into this season, what's the big focus for you personally?
Me personally, man. I mean, look. I've said it from day one. I aim to be an all-star in this league. I don't know why would I aim to be anything less. And I think. I had a taste of it last year. I felt like I was one of those dudes. I think the first half of the season, obviously I got injured a bunch and kind of got out of rhythm. But for me, that's one of my personal goals. But at the end of the day, my personal goals will never be achieved without the team goals.
Hey Cole, what are some things that you worked on as far as your game this summer?
My fault, Bito. Let me finish. I was about to say. I was gonna say is that team goal that always is gonna come first, and with team success, everyone individual goals will be achieved.
Sorry.
My fault. What you saying?
What are some things that you worked on as far as your game this summer?
For me, the big things were just a lot of off the ball stuff, and it really was just a lot of mental stuff. I think the biggest thing I worked on this summer was just changing my diet. Just did a complete 180 in terms of just my diet. Got a personal chef now. Just not playing no games that I don't want to have any more ticky-tack injuries, ankle sprains, just nothing. I don't want to deal with any of that. I want to play 82 games and I want to have fun doing it.
Paul, you mentioned a couple of times the disrespect that you guys hear from other teams or other outlets around the league. How much you guys talk about that in the locker room?
Yeah, man. I mean, I get disrespected from our own Orlando outlets all the time. So I mean, we talk about that a bunch, and it's something that angers all of us. I mean, it angers me a lot. Shoot, but I know it angers everyone on the team. We got a group chat. We talk about this stuff all the time. It's just it's something that we know we're gonna have to earn it. It's not something that's gonna be just handed to us. That's not how it works. So we just use it as motivation and just try to use that to just push us and drive us every single day.
For you personally, we all saw the Cars.com commercial with the adorable kids and the ride along. Is that something you're looking to do moving forward in your career and show your personality off the court? How much fun was that commercial, and will there be a reunion commercial when your team exceeds 22 wins? I think that was the bet.
Man, I think that's up to Cars.com. I don't really know. We're gonna see, but yeah, man. Me personally, I got 4 younger siblings. I got an 8-year-old sister, 9-year-old brother, 10-year-old brother, and a 20-year-old sister. So I personally love kids, and so I just did a camp. I did some stuff in New York for kids, and I just whenever I can do to make kids happy, man, just spend time with them, whatever it is. I personally enjoy that, and obviously, I think I got a pretty decent personality, so it's always cool to show it off.
Oh, you said you internalized shots.
Nah, I was in there punching shots. I think I gave one person opportunity, a couple opportunities to score. They didn't score, and at that point, I'm like, yeah, nah, it's clip for y'all. Y'all ain't. Yeah, it's over. Y'all, none of y'all scoring.
You said he wants this place to be a building where you guys don't want to leave because there's so much consistency. What is your favorite part of this place?
Man, I ain't even really got to fully explore it yet. But for me, it's a few nap rooms back there which are pretty cool. Those I might have to break those in and test those out soon. But I do enjoy a good nap. But other than that, that's right here. We in the sanctuary right here. You got 6 real nice hoops. If my math doesn't fail me, but you can confirm that for me. But yeah, this is definitely my favorite spot right here.
You got 2 more questions. They're pretty nice.
Because I think I got a walk-in closet, man. I might gotta take a nap in there too. I gotta test that out too.
We're still here. I got drafted. They asked me what number I wanted, and Bismack was still on the roster. And I guess they didn't really know what they were going to do with him at that point. And then like 10 minutes later, they traded him or something like that. And I was still stuck with 5 because they put it into production. And then I tried to change it the next year. And they were like, oh, yeah, you got to pay this amount of money. And I was just like, I think I'm all right with 5. 5's been a good number, but it wasn't me. But I'm glad I can just, pass it off to Rooks.
Mo, free agency is obviously a two-way street. What went into your decision to come back here and continue to build with the Magic?
Just a lot of it was familiarity and the coaching staff. I love the direction that we're going in as an organization. I'm really close with the coaching staff, and that's across the board. And I feel like there's so much unfinished business here to do.
Coach Mosley talked about the little things, focusing on the little things going in training camp, and that starts with conditioning. And he said with conditioning, you guys are going to be playing a lot, getting team chemistry down packed and everything like that. So how does that make you guys feel, knowing that you're going to be playing basketball instead of just running wind sprints all day in and day out? Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, we get out here, we're playing the game of basketball. And to me, there's nothing like basketball cardio. You can get out there, you can run wind sprints, you can run the hills, you can swim, you can, rock climb, you can do all kinds of things. But once you get out there and play like actual basketball, the combination of, lateral movement, jumping, even, bumping up against bigger bodies, is all part of basketball cardio. And, there's nothing like it. You could be the most in shape, marathon runner, but get out there and play basketball, and because it's intervals, your body will have to adjust to it, and you might not, be as in shape maybe, but it's good to hear, because there's a lot of things you need to do out there to work on as far as chemistry, integrating the new players in, but it's definitely good to hear that we're playing a lot.
Mo, this is a very young roster, and you're a young player yourself, but you've been through the NBA 4 years, you've been through free agency, you've seen your share of adversity. Are you looking to take another step as a leader on this team, whether it's vocally or through example, even more than you've been in the past, because there's so many young players in the locker room?
Absolutely. I think that's something that the coaches even lean on me for, but at the end of the day, it's up to me to do. Getting out there leading by example, it speaks way louder than words. But also showing the Rooks, listen, here's a mistake that I've made, and you should look at it this way instead of this way. It's something that I've been taught, and that's something that I want to do.
Mo, it's year 5 for you now in the NBA, and you're really coming off the season with career highs across the board. What type of expectations and goals do you put on yourself this year, and do you hold yourself to a higher standard now that you're on a second contract and a leader in this clubhouse per se?
Absolutely. As far as personal career highs and all of that stuff is cool, but I think now is the time to turn the leaf and to start putting in some wins and leading this club, leading this team to a lot of better things.
What are your initial impressions of Paolo? And I don't know how much you've been able to see him over the summer, but from what you've seen so far, what do you like about him? And what can he do for the team?
Yeah, I love how rooted in basketball he is. You can tell he really loves the game. He's been around the game for a very long time. But the most impressive thing to me as far as what he does on the court is his versatility. We're going to ask him to play some one sometime. We're going to ask him to play the wing, play the post, and he's so big and mobile and agile that he can cover all of it. So what is Cole doing? So Cole, that was great. Cole, tap him. Cole, I know you hear me. Everyone can hear me. That was crazy. Yeah, but Paolo's good. He's really good. I think his next step in his maturation for the game is learning how to use his body a little bit more. That was crazy. Okay. He's just learning how to use his body a little bit more, and I think that'll come from, honestly, getting hit from other players. He's going to learn, okay, I can deliver some blows myself.
seems like you've been involved in some of the pickup games that you guys have been playing over the offseason. What's the biggest impression that you've had of Bol Bol and just what he can bring? It seems like, listening to Terrence, it just seems like he can do all sorts of things that a guy at Houstan should be able to do.
Yeah, it's similar things to Paolo. He's a little less physically imposing as far as just like, trying to, hit you or whatever. But, everyone knows that both can really play. It's just a matter of him being in a situation where we can put all of that stuff together and silence the outside noise.
This team had, we saw this team's chemistry last year. What does it mean to have pretty much everyone from last year's roster back, and what kind of an advantage can that give you guys as you get going here in training camp?
A really big advantage. You see what Milwaukee's building over there. They have the same nucleus, the same core, but they're doing it at such a high level, and that's something that we can look to hopefully to emulate.
We've all spoken about greater accountability, leveling up. What does that look like to you, and what have you guys spoken about what that looks like for you guys this season?
Just a matter of just holding each other accountable, just bridging the gap between actions and words, and just doing what we're supposed to do.
Seems like it'd be less of a leash, if you want to use that word, less of a leash for mistakes in that sense.
Absolutely, yeah. Last year, it was simple. It was pretty obvious that we can play through our mistakes. This year, we have so much depth and so many people who are hungry to get out there and play. It's where you want to, hold each other accountable, and even in practices, just make each other better. How you doing, Paolo? Good to see you. 5 looks good on you. Looks good on you. No problem.
But will there be a special feel about tomorrow? Another first real training camp practice?
Yeah, for sure. I think, just kind of day one of my career, definitely is going to be a memory, and I'm excited.
What would you say the process has been like so far? There's a lot of really young guys in this team. I'm sure a lot of you knew each other pretty well before you got drafted here, of course. But forging those relationships, becoming teammates, building those bonds. How is that process going?
It's going well. Most of us came back, and then Markelle came back, Franz came back. So now we got everybody, and everyone. Obviously me being a rookie coming in, guys just embracing me, and they've already, you can already see the relationships that they've had with each other, and it's just a real together group so far.
Coach Mosley mentioned that part of you guys' conditioning for training camp is going to be playing a lot instead of just running wind sprints and everything like that. How does that make you guys feel, knowing that you're going to work on your team chemistry and you're going to be playing basketball rather than just running uphill?
I think that's a great way to go about it, just because you can't really simulate playing any other way than getting out there and playing. So I think that's going to help a lot, getting us in even better shape, playing shape, and just making sure we're one of the most, I think, fit teams in the league is what Coach Mosley, I think, is his goal is.
Paolo, you're obviously a very cerebral player. To play in a front court alongside guys like Franz and Wendell, who are also very good decision makers for their size, just how much potential do you think you have with that group in that aspect of the game?
I couldn't even tell you how much potential we have. I don't think I ever played with 2 forwards who are like them. Like you said, great decision makers, can make plays for others along with themselves. So to have 3, maybe 4 guys who can all do that at that size on the court, I think it's going to be a special sight.
Has anyone on the team stepped up as sort of a mentor to show you the ropes of the rookie process?
I would say a couple guys, not just one. Jalen Suggs been a big help so far. Markelle, Terrence, Wendell. The list goes on. All these guys have been a help. Just reaching out, whether it's a little thing or it's a question I have, they're always there for me.
What's the best piece of advice that you've gotten? Obviously things haven't started yet, so you don't really know till you experience it. What's the best piece of advice you feel like you've gotten so far about preparing for your rookie year?
Yeah, just that it's going to be ups and downs. It's 82 games. Not every game is going to be. You're not going to have a good game every game. But just being able to flush it, being able to bounce back, and then when you're playing really well, not getting too high or excited, staying level and just getting through the year, staying healthy. That's another big thing. Just making sure you're taking care of your body, eating right, and just having fun. That's the other biggest thing. Is rookie year, first year in the NBA, so have fun with it.
As a former number one pick.
One more time?
How settled are you in the city? Do you have a home base? Are you way around? Do you have favorite spots yet?
Yeah. No, yeah, I got a house, you know, or I don't have a house, but I got a spot where I'm at. Got a car, got everything, man. So I'm all the way settled, all the way moved in, and yeah, I love the city so far.
You had an opportunity to play last season with Coach K in his last dance. How did that kind of mold you and prepare you for your first NBA season?
I think, well, other than all the great stuff I learned at Duke, I think it just helped me a lot. You know, with all the noise that was came with that season, all the pressure and whatever you want to call it. I think that's helped me a lot. Just, dealing with that during my freshman year at college, that was a big help. Because now coming into the NBA, it's kind of similar with the expectations of being the number one pick. So I just get to come out and handle it how I did before.
As a former number one pick, what has Markelle Fultz told you about handling the expectations and the pressure, going from the summer, going from the draft, throughout the season, throughout the entire season?
Yeah, he's taught me a lot, just because he's seen the good and bad of the pressure or whatever, with all the stuff he went through early on in his career, so he's been a huge help in just not getting caught up in the noise, whether it's good or bad, sticking to what keeping the main thing, and sticking to the basics has been his biggest advice for me.
What is those lines from a former number one pick? Already there's talk about what next year's number one pick might be, the young man from France and all that. What advice would you give somebody who just came through the process? What advice would you give those guys that will be under consideration for number one next year about how to handle it, how to deal with it?
I would say, well, I think his situation is a little different because he's overseas. But just for the guys in college, don't pay any attention, I would say, to the draft boards, to the mock drafts, or really don't even try your hardest not to even think about it. I think that was my biggest thing in college. I really wasn't worried about that. Obviously once the season's over and pre-draft starts, that's when you start. But enjoy your college season. For the big guy out there in France, enjoy whatever pro season. And yeah, I mean, this is your last year of basketball before you get to the big league. So,
Paul, along those same lines, media day, it's obviously kind of a first day of school vibe. And I always think about where I was at this time last year. Have you allowed yourself to think about how much has changed in your life over the last 365 days?
Yeah, man, it's been crazy. I talk about it with my family and friends all the time. Just where I was being right now at Duke last year. Preseason, just getting started with my first college practices around this time last year. So, just to see how much has changed over the year, and just being excited for what's next, and ready to get started.
Paolo, for you, what does a successful rookie season look like?
Yeah, I would just say, one, I do just want to be a great teammate. I want to, definitely as a team be in contention, whether that's a playoff spot, play in, like just be in the mix, and compete every game. And then, I also want to be rookie of the year, so that's just a personal goal I set for myself.
Paolo, there was a national
Kind of conversations that you had with
Coach Moe's, a lot of conversations. He's been a huge help just with, getting me, all caught up on, the sets, the defense, and, what he expects out of me, and as a team, what he expects out of us. He's a great guy, full of energy, great teacher, and I've loved playing for him so far.
Paolo, there was a national report from The Athletic that it could be very soon that the NBA lowers the minimum age from 19 to 18 years old. How would your basketball journey have been different if maybe that rule was in place? Do you have any comments or feelings about that minimum age rule, and how do you think it would affect the NBA?
Yeah, I think that's a blessing and a curse, that rule change, because I think, some guys are going to be ready to make that jump, but a lot of other guys, may not, but they may think they are. So, I hope that, if they do change that rule, that, guys and their families, make the right decision. Obviously, if I was able to go to the league, straight from high school, I probably would have definitely thought about it and definitely heavily considered it. But, I love my time in college, so, I definitely would do it again if I could. But yeah, some guys are going to be able to do that, but some guys, maybe college is the best thing for them.
Paolo, you had a great summer league. What was the biggest takeaway from summer league for you, and how have you integrated that into your game since?
Just the difference in style of play, the openness, the spacing, the sets, all that stuff. I think it was more open, difference from college to the NBA. But obviously, summer league is a step down from the NBA. So, just coming into preseason, using preseason to get ready for the regular season, and then hopefully starting off the regular season strong.
What have you learned kind of about your teammates? I mean, I think the feeling here is that there's really good chemistry. It's a really kind of young group, but what's been the feeling and what's been the integration like with the rest of your teammates now?
It's been smooth, I would say. Just all the guys, like I said, everyone's together. It's not like the old guys only hang out with the old guys and the young guys. It's not like that. Everyone is cool with everybody, and I think when you have it like this to where everyone's tight knit and everyone holds each other accountable, I think it makes for a special team. So I'm excited for the year.
You don't have any old guys. So you don't have any old guys.
T. Ross on year 11.
Well, just how excited are you to be healthy and ready for the start of this training camp and to get things underway?
I'm very excited because I was injured, so I haven't been playing basketball for a while. But I've been getting back into it this summer. I just can't wait for the season.
Last year was kind of a bit of a journey for you. How, I guess, maybe how did it feel kind of like bounce around the way that you did, and what did it feel like to kind of find a place here and all?
I mean, it's the NBA, so I mean it happens all the time. One day you can be on one team, traded the next, traded again. So you just gotta be ready for it. But I'm happy that I finally landed here in Orlando, and I think it's a great place for me.
Well, are you fully good to go for training camp after participating in all the drills, all that?
Yeah, I'm fully cleared for contact and everything.
I guess, what are you looking to show? You haven't, what are you looking to show after not as much playing time this last season?
Just working on coming in and just playing as hard as I can and like doing what I can do, which is rebounding, blocking shots, spreading the floor, shoot, dribble. Just trying to come help the team any way I can.
Well, what are your early impressions on this big facility here now in Orlando?
It's amazing. This is my first time in it since we took a walkthrough, and I think it's an amazing facility. I haven't seen much better than it.
How do you see it helping the team in general stay healthy?
Well, one, we have 3 courts now, so I think that's good for us. We have a lot more space to do whatever we want. And I think it'll be good for us because we can individually get help from someone. So, and we're not all crowded like we were in the other place.
How is it different than the other teams you played for in their training facilities?
Some other training facilities aren't as up to date as this one, so I think I got lucky.
You got a chance to be around this. Go ahead.
You started last season and you were injured. You got to hang out with the guys, get a feel for the culture. Talk about that brotherhood, obviously, as a player.
We're all very close in age, so we're all each other's brothers. So I mean, and we all know each other from either growing up in high school or whatever. So I think we're all pretty close, and it's like a family here.
Well, what went into your decision making on re-signing with the Magic?
I think they were just giving me the best opportunity for me and myself, and I think it was a good thing. It was just. They were just giving me the most opportunity, and I think it's a good place for me here.
Has Coach Mosley told you anything about what your role is, what he's expecting of you this season?
We haven't really gotten into that yet, but he has been on my workouts and stuff, and during our play, he will stop and tell me what I need to fix or what I need to do better, or I'll be in this spot during this. So we haven't talked about that specifically, but he has been helping me within the offense and everything.
Well, the old saying goes, iron sharpens iron. To go in camp every day against guys like Moe Bamba, Wendell Carter, just how much does that help all of you guys out, continue to elevate your play?
I think it helps a lot of us because that's very realistically because there's a lot of tall centers in the NBA, and that we're all around the same height, and it's so when we're playing against each other, it's going to be when we're playing against another team. So I think it's very well that we can do that right here in Knowledge. So.
And you see the direction, kind of the center positions going, where everyone's able to shoot threes. How do you see your skill set kind of fitting into that? Because you're very much kind of a perimeter-oriented player.
My skill set definitely fits because I'm able to, besides shoot, I can dribble pretty well. So I think I'll be fine with spacing the floor out.
with all the injuries that you faced, do you feel like people kind of forget about what you're capable of doing? And how you
Yeah,
feel about
definitely. I
Ramon?
feel like people forgot about it, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm not worried about it.
And Cole was talking about the group chat that you guys have when you hear people maybe doubting your team. What are your expectations for you guys going into the season?
I think we're a very underrated team, and no one's looking out for us. They're like, oh, the Magic, whatever. But like, we're a very young, talented team, and I think, and we're selfless. Like, no one's selfish here. So as long as we all play hard and we play for each other, I think we'll be a very good team.
Thanks, Bol.
Appreciate it, Bol.
Man, if you just step forward.
Okay.
Good.
I'm good.
I'm good. You?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Doing well, bro.
You know, we talked all this summer about what this opportunity would mean for you. You know, to continue to have 2-year contract under your belt, getting that opportunity to again assimilate with the parent club. Just how much do the next couple of weeks mean for you as you continue to show what you can do in this league?
I think for me, the biggest thing, training camp is training camp. Obviously, that's where you're going to be evaluated. That's where everyone, you're under the spotlight now. But for me, the past 50 days were the most important for me during this off season, getting ready for this, in the best shape I've ever been, physically, healthiest I've ever been. And so for me, I feel like the work has been laid. The season starts really today, with meeting with you guys, being able to talk to everybody. So for me, it's just doing what I do. And that's, communicating at a high level, just holding people accountable, having good energy, and making shots. So, if I do that, obviously, my goal is to be here, long term with the team. Hopefully that's what happens, but I'm going to just be present every day, see where that takes me.
Obviously, contract is a contract, non-guaranteed deal. I guess you've always talked about everything's been non-guaranteed for you, but I guess how does that continue to have that approach no matter what, and not being able to, get settled in that sense?
Oh, it's just life, and in anyone's situation, right? Whether you're fully guaranteed everything, you see what happens around the league every day, with people getting traded. So that's way out of my hands. I control what I can control. And like I've said over and over again, that's showing up with the right mentality, the good energy, and owning what I do. And at the end of the day, I'll be here to play a role, and I'm going to be the best at what I do. So that's what I'm excited to do in camp.
How'd you get the kicks? Or those are hard to come by.
Shout out Markelle. Markelle blessed me with these actually on my birthday. So the Mambasita Kobe's on the feet, and I had to represent. So.
How did going through the rehab process last year, how did that kind of give you the perspective that you needed to kind of embrace, get yourself back, but embrace the opportunity that you have now this year?
I mean, that's really everything I talk about, is taking things day at a time, right? I couldn't play the first day out of my injury, which, was super devastating in the moment, but for me, it was going to be a process, and I didn't know where that process would take me. So it was just showing up every day, whether I wanted to, whether I didn't want to. I had good days, I had bad days, but just getting healthy and obviously getting back here was the end goal for that, from that injury. So obviously they blessed me, with that 10-day, converted to 2-year non-guarantee. So now it's continuing to do what I do, and I show up every day, whether things are guaranteed or not guaranteed, and do what I do best, right? And that's lead, that's communicate, and like I said, make shots. So that's what I plan to do. And makes or misses, I'm going to keep the process the same.
Devin Cannady talked a little bit about your faith in this whole process. Princeton, Genie, MVP, championship, devastating injury, and now you're back. Can you talk about how your faith helped you on?
Yeah, that's been my North Star. All right, that's been, what's guided me through the uncertainty. That's what guided me in high school when I wasn't recruited heavily, going to an Ivy League school, that I was making the right decision. And I believe in God's plan for me. I have the right people in my circle, to help me through this. And I think it's guided me here. I'm excited to see where that guides me moving forward. But right now, my feet are here, talking with you all, getting ready for camp. And the rest is out of my control. So I'm just going to show up every day, like I keep saying, and do what I can, what I'm capable of, and see where that leads me.
Devin, you talked about your long-run recovery before rejoining the team last season. Can you speak to how the Magic organization has treated you just throughout that whole process?
Yeah, I've said it once. I've said it probably many times. And this place is like a family. It really is a family environment. It feels like home to me. Even if you're a max guy on an injury, there's always that uncertainty. And I'm a fringe guy, 2-way, 10-day guy who has a could have been career-ending, season-ending injury. The Magic could have easily looked at me. You may have potential and just went on to the next person. I'm still here. And that's speaks volumes to Jeff, John, Coach Mosley, this whole organization to have that faith and belief in me. So I think a big reason why I keep fighting, why I work so hard and pour so much energy into this organization is because they've done the same for me. So it's definitely a two-way street there. We're healthy now and excited to see if it all pays off.
How important was it for you to kind of embrace Orlando? Like we saw you at Orlando City games and Orlando Pride games. Like see you pretty active with fans. Like what is it? How much have you embraced Orlando, and what does it mean to be in this city?
I mean, that's who I am at the end of the day, and I think I haven't had that kind of stability to be able to pull myself into the community before, and so being on this contract now, leading into training camp, having an apartment, a place to call home, that's just who I am. So, or the Magic organization has, like I said, poured that energy into me. When I root myself into a community, I usually, my whole life have poured that same energy back out. And so, thank the Orlando Pride and Orlando City organization for inviting me, my fiance over. They obviously won that U.S. Open Cup. And so I like that energy around Orlando in itself, the championship ways. And I think, if you keep pouring yourself and the community pours back into you, that can all manifest itself here. And so I'm a firm believer in that. So I made a tweet and was like, hey, share your notes with us, right? Because whatever they're doing was working, and I think we have the same blueprint and same path. So, that was exciting. It was a good summer, and obviously excited to see everybody out in Amway this year too.
Devin, you often talk about run your own race. You have that, along those lines with the community, you were able to do a lot of community work this summer, both here, back home, etc. Just how much did it mean to you to have the opportunity to do all those things? Because it seemed like we were with you every other week doing a community activity.
No, that's everything, man. I think I don't do this for myself. I don't do it for the money, for the notoriety. I think I was once a kid who had dreams, aspirations, and always was seeking out greatness. And I wanted to be the best version of myself. I wanted to be in the NBA. And I'm sure there's kids out there in this community, back home where I'm from, who feel the same way. And maybe they don't have that person to physically, tangibly, be there for them, even in a moment. So again, wherever I'm at, and that was back home, unveiling a court, that's here, having opportunities to pour into the community. It was awesome to do that. And I'll do that as long as I'm here, wherever I'm at, for the rest of my life. So.
Good deal.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Wendell, obviously you've been hard at work all off season, but just how excited are you to get things going officially tomorrow with the start of camp?
Yeah, I'm super excited, man. Like you said, I put in a lot of work individually, and some of the games that we played, playing with each other these last couple of days, I've definitely seen the improvement in all my teammates. Just about getting in shape, being better shooters, being better decision makers, things like that. So I'm super excited to just get the ball rolling tomorrow for sure.
Along those lines, the old saying is iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely.
When you look at this group and just how competitive can camp be and help all of you guys make incremental growth?
Yeah, I mean, with us being so deep in terms of, in each position, everybody is really good. I feel like it's a perfect opportunity for us to, get better not only in training camp but just all season. Throughout practices and things like that. We have a lot of great players on this team, and as long as we come with that energy, each and every day to understand that, us going against each other, playing really hard is just going to make us better as a group. So I feel like if we approach that, especially going into training camp and then for the rest of the season, I think the sky's the limit for us.
Coach Mosley's talked all season about this team needs to level up and then to kind of do the little things that it takes to win. What does that kind of phrase mean to you, and where do you see your need to kind of take that next step?
When it comes to leveling up, I look at it as, we have to do a better job of holding each other accountable. We were really good individuals last year, but I feel like as a group is where we struggled. Late game situations, things like that. And, when it comes to holding each other accountable, not sugarcoating anything, telling everybody what it is, exactly, how it is and when it happens and things like that. I feel like that's, a next step for us. Whether the person likes it or not, I think that's the most important thing so that we don't make the same mistakes over and over again. And I think that's what will help us level up and become better players or a better team.
this is still a fairly young team. I think you're probably considered one of the veterans in the group.
Yeah.
How important is that leadership role, and where does leadership come from? With as you're trying to hold each other accountable with this kind of thing.
It's a fairly new role that I've stepped into. Since I've gotten to the Orlando Magic, that's kind of the role that they wanted me to embrace. With me going into my second year, I kind of know how well some of my teammates respond to certain leadership things that I may do. Some guys don't mind if I yell at them. Some guys don't mind if I just talk to them normally, pull them to the side. Some guys like it when I lead by example. So I've learned that a lot from a lot of my teammates. But I'm also, being a great leader is also understanding when you're wrong too. When people are able to tell me, when I need to do something better, when I need, to pass the ball better, rebound better, whatever the case may be, being able to respond to that kind of stuff. I think that's what makes a great leader also.
We talked a little bit when we did the tour here about Paolo and kind of what you've seen from him. But what kind of role, or how do you envision you two playing together in the front court?
It's unique. We're both pretty versatile big men. I feel like it just makes us so much more deadly, especially in the front court. With him being able to bring the ball to the court, come off pick and rolls, he can do a little bit of everything. And I feel like, especially coming from Duke, he understands, he knows how to win. And I feel like, I think it's very important, for him and for all of us, to kind of establish that and keep that demeanor going for him. Because he was the number one pick, and, the number one pick usually goes to, not the best team in the league. So I want him to understand that, what he did to get here is good enough. It's going to be a lot of people telling him what he should do, a lot of people from outside of here telling him what he should do, what he shouldn't do. But, my biggest thing in him is just, being true to himself, being who he is. Because who he is pretty damn good. So that's my biggest thing for him. And I feel like we can feed off each other really well.
Before the draft, I spoke with Emil Jefferson, and he said that when Paolo got to campus, he had heard about how big he was.
Yeah.
He saw him on the floor.
Yeah.
Similar experience?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was hearing a lot of things about him being a really big player, things like that. But when he came to the facility for the first time, and I saw how big he was, I'm like, oh yeah, he's legit. He's legit for sure.
And then to be that age and be able to do that athletically, that's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's gonna be a star in the making from the very first game.
Any question in the back?
How do you feel about yourself going into the season? Your body looks pretty good. You look like you've been
What you mean by that? I don't know what you mean by that, sir. Can you elaborate on the question?
How do you feel about your team, actually? I think I should ask you that.
I got the best point guard in the world on my team, so I feel like he's just gonna make me better. So I'm excited for that.
Wendell, with so many young, lengthy wings on the court, how much pressure do you put on yourself to go out there and show that you can control the glass in a way that will really elevate their game as well?
That's. Wait, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question again? My
so
bad.
many lengthy wings on your team. How much pressure do you put on yourself to lead by example and control the glass?
That's kind of who I am. That's kind of what I would like to be remembered as one of the best rebounders to do it. So that's something I go into every game, every practice, whatever the case may be. Just showcasing that, and I feel like with us, like you said, having lengthy wings that can get out, run, get up the court, knowing that I'm gonna get the board if it's in my area, is very important. Because we got guys like Franz, J.I. when he gets back, Jalen Suggs who like to attack the glass, or on the offensive end like to get to the rim. So I think in transition they'll understand that when the ball is in my area, I'm gonna get it, and that just makes the game a lot easier for all of us.
What aspect of your game have you worked on the most, especially with working alongside Paolo?
Being a better shooter, more consistent shooter. And I feel like I'm definitely going to have higher percentages this year from the three-point line. And then just my confidence and my stamina, being able to withstand everything that I'm going to go through this season and still be able to play all 82 games. And, just taking my shots when they're there. I think I took a really big jump in that last year, and I think it's another jump I can take in terms of creating for myself and things like that.
Wendell, for any athlete, being comfortable on the court is obviously a priority. We saw you last year struggle with getting poked in the eye and wearing all sorts of different eyewear and mouth off. Where are you at heading in this year with the glasses, with the eyewear? Where are we at?
Yeah, so I got a little style going on now. I got a couple new pair of goggles I'm gonna wear this year. I kind of just took it on as a fashion statement I'm gonna just use for the rest of my career. But yeah, that's kind of where I am in terms of the eyewear thing, for sure.
Can we get another rendition of your Magic Country?
What's that again?
Can we get another rendition of what you were doing over there, your Magic Country? Let's ride.
Let's ride. you want me to do it for real?
No, please.
What was the state? What did I say? I don't remember.
Magic Nation, let's ride.
Yeehaw, Magic Nation, let's ride.
Wendell, question. You were talking about the goggles, right? Any plans of bringing the Horace Grant goggles out?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hit him up. 'Cause I want the originals. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta hit up Horace. He was out there in Chicago when I was there. I saw him a lot, so I'll be able to hit him up. I got his number, so I'll text him. See if he can give me some.
A lot of the same players from essentially the whole roster is back from last year. How important is that going to be for you guys to kind of help you hit the ground running and have that familiarity with how each other kind of works, how each other plays, and with the system that you guys are running?
Yeah, it's important. Like a lot of teams around the league made a lot of changes this year. Even some of the best teams made changes, and it just shows that we got a front office that believes in us. We got a coaching staff that believes in us, because this is pretty rare that a team stays together, especially after a record we just had. So I'm excited. Like, I feel like with a year under our belt, we understand what we all like, what we don't like, how we respond to certain things. So I feel like it's just going to work in our favor and help us win more games this year.
In terms of team health, you were a lot more banged up last year than you were going into this season. How can you see them making a difference in terms of your record winning-wise? Do you think it's going to make this team a lot better on paper now we're healthy?
Absolutely. Just being available is one of the biggest skills you can have in this league, and I think a lot of our guys understand that. And then just having us all out there with all our strengths that we have, I feel like it just makes us so much better. So I'm just excited to really see the whole squad together at 100%. Unfortunately, we're not going to start the season like that, but eventually, once we get to that point, I'm excited for how that would look.
Yeah, because truly last year we had 2 people down from long-term knee injuries, so you think that's going to make a large difference?
Absolutely. Markelle went #1 for a reason, and J.I. I think went 6 in his draft, or 5 or something like that, for a reason. So I'm just ready for them to showcase that.
Thanks, Dale.
Yep. Appreciate y'all.
Sure.
I stepped on before that game.
If you could just.
I eat my veggies though. This is dope.
Markelle, so obviously we all saw the news yesterday.
For sure.
You had a little toe injury going into camp. How is that coming along, and how you feel the progress is making?
I feel great. My body still feels amazing. All the work that I put in this summer just to come into the season, give myself the best chance. I still feel like, that's very effective, and I still feel good. I'm still able to do a lot of things, and a minor setback. We don't have a timeline on, when I'll be back, but again, I can say that I feel really, really good, just physically and mentally where I'm at, and I'll be ready for whenever that time comes. I feel like I won't miss a beat, So again, my goal right now is just to do everything I can to get back on court as soon as I can, but also just be here for my teammates and myself. As you all know, as it's not my first time, sitting out of playing, so I know how to use this time wisely and use it effectively. So again, I just want to be here for my teammates and push them in any way I can, and continue to sharpen my brain.
Up until that point, how good did you feel your summer was going? We saw you, working out
hard.
Yeah. We saw you challenging Moe Bamba.
No, I had my little post challenge. Then he told me to chill out because I was posting too much. But not to cut you off, but I felt, again, amazing. I feel like being able to go into the summer fully healthy and really attack it in all the ways that I wanted to, I feel like it was very effective. And I feel, again, very good going into the season. I'm very excited to use this beautiful facility that we're in right now to continue to, get better and just get ready for the season.
Did you really injure your toe in practice? There's a Wolves bomb that you tripped over a topic truck in the midst of the
Oh, what? Oh, what truck? Oh, no. No, actually, I wasn't playing. I was just walking, just clumsy, big feet, and I stubbed my toe. Just like pretty sure everybody has stubbed their toe before, and didn't think anything of it. Just kept going. Obviously didn't work out. I'm not stupid. I took the proper precaution, to icing and stuff like that, and again, came back here and we got imaging and found out that, I don't know what they said, fracture, crack, whatever it is. But again, I feel extremely confident where I am. I don't feel like if it was up to me, you know, I'll play, but that's me. You know, I'm kind of crazy. You know, I put myself on the line. But again, our biggest goal is to make sure I can give my best version of myself for this team and this organization. So that's what we're doing now and taking the right precaution and doing everything for myself to make sure that I'm good, you know, to be able to play a full, healthy season. Yeah.
How important was it to get back on the court to end last season to kind of spearhead the offseason this year?
It was super important, not only for myself, but I feel like for everybody just to see me. You know, I know it was a big anxious of, you know, what's going on with Markelle, how is he doing? And so I think that not only for myself, but this city, Orlando, I wanted everybody to get a chance to see me and know that, you know, I've been working extremely hard and everybody's been working extremely hard, not only myself, but everybody on this team. But again, I give my all to this program and, you know, this city. So it was very good for my mental, physically, just to be able to go out at the end of the season and be able to play with some of these guys and get that feel and let them get a feel for how I play. And just looking forward to picking up off of, you know, where we finished last year and the chemistry and building on it and having an unbelievable season this year.
As a former number 1 pick, what kind of advice or conversation, or if you had it yet, with Paolo, and what kind of, you know, advice have you given?
Yeah, I think this is pretty dope. You know, to be able to have another number 1 pick on your team, and I think the biggest advice that I have for him and that I'm gonna continue to give him throughout this year is that there's no expectation for him. The only expectation that he has is the one that he puts on himself, and understanding that, you know, he was the number 1 pick for a reason. You know, he has unbelievable talent. He's an unbelievable person, and as long as he continues to work on his game and continue to give his all to this program and to, you know, his team, I think that every personal accolade that can come will come his way because, again, the talent that he is and the player that he is. So, again, I'm just always going to be here for him as a brother, not only just a number 1 pick, but just someone who's been through a lot and knows the ups and downs of, you know, the roads that he's going to go along. Just understanding that, you know, it's a game and you got to have fun and continue to just come in with a mindset of working and getting better every day, you know. Again, he's 19 years old, so, you know, it's going to be a lot of ups and downs. It's not going to always be all good. And I wish it is, but it's going to happen. But, again, he's an unbelievable player, unbelievable talent, and he's going to be fine. You know, he has a lot of great people around him, and this is a great organization.
Markelle, a few weeks ago, you tweeted out 4th seed. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you meant by that?
Yeah, I just put it out there. I was talking to a couple of my buddies, and I truly believe that we can be a 4th seed. And I just put it out there. Not saying anything. Obviously, I didn't put too much in it. I didn't want people to go crazy, but just hold myself accountable. You know, you got to believe, you got to manifest in order to get to anywhere you want to go in life. So just putting it out there in the world for when that day happens, you know, y'all won't be too shocked. You know, I won't be shocked at all. Again, I believe in this team. I believe that we have a lot of young talent. I don't think that it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be a lot of hard work, but I believe we have a chance to do something very special. You know, I think like I said, I think we're going to do some special things this year.
What's that going to take in terms of practical performance?
Yeah. It's going to take wins. You know, obviously we're going to have to win games. So, again, it's going to come with, you know, just taking it one day at a time, whether that's practice, whether that's film, whether that comes to game day, and just really locking in on that day and realizing what we have to do to win the day. I'm pretty sure you heard that a lot going around here, but that's all I think that's going to come. Understanding that, again, it's not going to be easy, and understanding that we have to believe in ourselves and we have the talent. You know, everybody puts their shorts on just like we do. So, again, as long as we come to the game with the right mindset and compete at a high level, I think we're going to give ourselves a chance to play against anybody in this league. So,
Would you consider yourself a leader in that locker room?
Say that again?
Would you consider yourself a leader in the locker room?
Absolutely. I think that, you know, I always consider myself a leader as far as that my actions. You know, I've always been a big, you know, coming in, working hard, being on time, and just giving my all to the game. But my goal for this year is really coming out as a vocal leader, you know, and really, especially with a lot of young guys. And even though I'm young myself, you know, just being through a lot, just letting everybody know that, you know, we're all human, we all go through things, and as long as we're together, we can go as far as we want to go. So, again, I'm going to just try to keep us together as much as we can, especially being a point guard, really taking that step as being a vocal leader and just letting everybody know, you know, when we're doing what we're supposed to and when we're not supposed to, and that's myself included. So I think that's what we're going to need in order to get to where we want to go, and that's what I'm here for.
Different question. So you've been through such a journey with the Sixers, your ups and downs,
Yes.
injuries. You talked a lot about how your faith played a central part of your
Absolutely.
game. How does your faith play? How does that play in your life now that you're healthy or relatively healthy going in?
Yeah.
much stronger into
It's everything. It's number one on my list. I put God first. I believe in God, and I know a lot of people believe in many different things, but I'm a firm believer in God, and everything happens for a reason, especially in my journey. I seen it firsthand. So, again, I always give him the glory and praise, with everything, because I know that without him, I wouldn't be able to do anything. So it always just keeps me grounded. Like, again, you're going to have ups and downs in life, and you all know that as humans. It's not just in basketball courts, it's in life in general, and I realized that at a young age. So, again, it just keeps me grounded, come back and never ask why. I always just come to him when I have questions, and I believe in him, and I believe that, again, everything happens for a reason. So he just keeps me the way y'all see me, always positive, always moving forward, and always in a right mindset.
Talk more on how important it is to stay balanced and stay grounded through a long NBA season.
Yeah,
especially.
for sure. Like I said, it's going to be ups and downs. Everything isn't going to be perfect. You're not going to always come in with the right mindset. It's not always going to be your best day. But I believe that's when it comes to the process and being disciplined in the process and really believing in your process and not the result. No matter what the result is, you believe in the work that you put in. And I'm just a firm believer on that. I think that's the way my life goes, and I think that's how life goes.
Markelle, after playing down the stretch last year and then after playing this summer, how's your knee? What kind of shape is it in?
Oh,
and
man.
how much of a grind is it still?
Yeah.
Strength
My knee feels better than ever, actually. My knee feels really good, and I'm super excited where that's at. Even coming in, the end of last season, just trying to get back into the things. I wouldn't say I wasn't like 100% as far as confident and the way my knee felt, but definitely after this summer and putting in the amount of work that I put in of, strengthening and running and everything, just impact, I feel really comfortable where I'm at going into the season. I feel like better than ever.
Prior to the toe, were you going to be 100% go each game?
Absolutely, yeah. I was full go. Again, I was ready to come in training camp full blazing, and I still am. Again, there's still plenty of things I can do to be here with my team, and that's what I'm gonna do until I'm able to get on court and be able to get back in like I never missed a beat. So that's my focus right now, is really just making sure that I do everything that I can to make sure that I'm good to get right back into things.
What are the precautions now? What can you not do?
I don't have the full list of things. I'm kind of like, I'm the type of guy that just comes in and gets straight to work, whatever they tell me to do, and try to know the things that I can't do. But I don't really have everything that I can do. There's a lot of things that I can do. I know that for sure. So again, I believe in the medical staff that we have there, and obviously this is a beautiful facility that we have there. And I think that things will be sooner than later.
Will you be able to run?
Hopefully. I don't know if I'm allowed to run now. I don't even know. Like, again, all this stuff just came out and recently just happened. Like, again, I was working out and stuff. Like I said, I was working out before last week, and again, everything happens, and it was just a sign to step back. And again, I still feel very confident where my body is and everything. So,
where do you feel like you made the most amount of growth in between the end of last season and before the injury?
When you say injury, you're talking about my toe?
The toe, yeah.
I think really just focusing in on my body coming back in. I feel like I'm a little bit lighter than I normally play at, and I feel like mentally and physically, just everything. I worked on my jump shot. I worked on, ball handling. I worked on reads and understanding my teammates better. So I feel like I just have an all-around, better understanding for the game and better understanding for myself and where I need to be in order to help my teammates in the best way. And only thing that's going to help now is just getting out there and being able to be on the floor with those guys and being able to go through trials and tribulations and learn from our mistakes. So, again, I feel very good, and I feel like everything's, on the up and up.
Coach Moses talked all offseason about, the team needs to level up. What does that mean to you? What is the definition of that?
I think leveling up is, again, coming in every day and trying to win the day. And also, when we make mistakes, learning from them and not making the same mistakes over. Of course, we're a young team, and I think that's going to be the difference between, a lot of things. I feel like that's what the vets have, and the teams that have, chemistry. They've been through things and trials, and they know, what to do in certain situations. So I think that's just going to come down to getting better every day, and that's whether that's, doing your right recovery, whether that's coming to practice and getting better, whether that's watching film. I think that, we all have our individual things that we need to work on, but also as a team, understanding what we need to work on as a team and getting better at those things.
Thanks, Till. Obviously you volunteered for Summer League. You've been working hard all off season. How excited are you to get training camp tipped off and show everything you've been working on this off season?
I'm very excited. It's something I I want to do all summer, just work hard, nose down, head down in the gym, and just with training camp approaching, want to make everybody feel my presence, feel like I'm ready to go this season. All my teammates are ready, so we're just very excited for it.
You talk a lot about iron sharpening iron. With all the young talent you have on this squad, how much can that help all of you continue to elevate your games as you go against each other every day in camp?
Yeah, it's great that we have a lot of young guys. Our bodies should be fresh, get the proper recovery, and go at it every single day, and make each other better, push each other to be great every single day. And I know a lot of young guys on this team, want to be successful in this league and want to have great careers with a great team and an organization like the Magic. So we're going to do our best every single day to push each other.
How would you evaluate your run at Summer League? Did you get what you wanted out of it? I mean, obviously maybe the numbers weren't quite what you expected or what anyone expected. But what did you see out of your time in Vegas?
I got to team up with P and Caleb, the first person on the team to do so. Play with them first. Get able to get acclimated to how P's going to play, how Caleb's going to play. I know where Paolo likes to be on the court. I know where Caleb likes to be. So that was great for me. It was great to compete with the guys in Summer League, great to compete with the guys during practice. I feel like I'm the only one that played a game since last season, for real. So having that wind under me, having that first game under my belt, only going to make it easier for next week to come.
You had an incredible shooting year last year in terms of from the three-point line. Would you credit that a lot to your work with Mike Miller, who happens to also be your agent, that he helps you with shooting, helps you with just basically learning technique?
Right. Yeah, Mike's a great shooting coach, also my agent, and I think that just the work over the years with him has made me a better shooter. Still working with him, all the time, even if he's not in the gym with me. Concentrating on what he's taught me. So looking to have an even better shooting year this year. I'm looking forward to a lot of these guys passing me the ball so I can make some threes.
What are your initial thoughts on Caleb after playing with him and what he might bring to the team?
Caleb's going to bring, a sense of toughness, a three-point shooting ability. His IQ is very smart, so he's a great young player. I think that he has all the tools. He works hard. He wants to be in the gym. He wants to learn. So that's good to see from him. And then also he has a couple Michigan guys here too with him. So he's comfortable. So I think he'll be a great addition.
RJ, obviously you have a lot of defensive tools. Now that you've gone through the league a couple times and have some familiarity with the guys going against, how much growth do you feel like you continue to make on that end of the floor as you become even more aware of the tendencies of some of these guys?
Right. I think, first couple of years it was more about just trying to play hard, trying to, disrupt people defensively. And then I think this year it's going to go a lot into the film room, knowing guys' tendencies, knowing what guys do. Me trying to be a top 10 guard defender in the league, if not top 5 at the 1, 2, 3 position, guarding these players, these top guys each night in and night out. So that's something I pride myself on. I've always done that, and then just looking to take that next step.
RJ, what do you see your role not only on the floor but in the locker room for this team?
In the locker room especially, I'm a guy that's a very easygoing guy. Everybody really gets along with me, and just always encouraging guys to do better, be great. I've learned that from the teams that I've been on, not even just with the Magic, but when I was in Denver, certain how people approach winning, and that's something I want to bring to the culture here, that we're starting up with everything that we have going on now. And then my role on the floor, I think, as y'all seen last year, defensive guy that's going to come in, play make, be able to knock down key threes, key shots, get to the rim. So really all around, but I think those two things with the off the court and the locker room things, I think that'll be taking me a long way.
RJ, a lot of guys put on camps in the off season, and we saw recently you were back home in Texas and you were at your old high school. What was that experience like working with young kids and working that camp?
It was great for me to work that camp. That's something I've wanted to do for a long time. Even when I was in high school, just dreaming about going to the NBA and being able to give back to my community. A lot of those guys that were at the camp, kids that were at the camp, were elementary, middle school, high school guys that watched me when I was in high school. So them showing me like pictures that we've taken at my high school games when I was there was kind of a surreal moment, and it really felt good to get back to the community.
What are your thoughts on the building so far as you've gone around?
The building's amazing. I like it a lot. I think it's a lot easier to get your work done in here than at the other gym. So work out, We got nap room, so I can go take a nap and then come back to work out. I don't even got to go home.
Yeah, as a guy who played in Denver, I'm curious to see your thoughts on the altitude chamber.
Oh yeah,
reality.
I haven't been in the altitude chamber. I just know Denver was no joke.
Have you taken advantage of any of the amenities through this facility yet?
This is really like the first day for real. It was like first day of school almost. So hopefully this week throughout training camp, I think we got a couple two-a-days. So I ain't even gonna go home. I'm just gonna go to that nap room and lay it down.
RJ, there was a report from The Athletic recently that the NBA is considering lowering the minimum age from 19 to 18. I wanted to ask you, because of your journey from high school to playing overseas, what do you feel about that rule possibly changing, and would that have changed your path over the last couple of years at all?
Right. I mean, I think it's good. I mean, I think every other sport, a lot of other sports, I would say, kids are allowed to go pro at a young age. And I think if you're ready for it, why not take that leap? I feel like for myself, I went overseas right out of high school, but probably if the age was lower, I probably would have tried to come out and test my name in the NBA draft as well. So I think it's good. I think that people should be smart about what they're doing when they do it. I don't think everybody is ready for the NBA at 18 years old. But if someone is physically ready, I don't think anyone's ever going to be mentally ready for the NBA at 18 years old. But physically ready and is a willing learner, I think that's good for them.
On the topic of mentally ready, how have you helped Paolo and Caleb with getting mentally ready for the NBA?
Just sharing my experiences with them. I've been through a lot, and only 2 years in the NBA, started my third year. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs, especially as a number one pick, and Caleb as well. So just telling them, always keep a level head. You know, you got to block out the noise and just continue to stay in the gym and continue to work. You know, it ain't going to rain forever. It ain't going to sunshine forever. So just keeping a level head throughout this whole thing.
Thanks, RJ.
No problem, y'all.
We don't have to run that back. Gary, how are you feeling from everything? How's the rehab coming along?
I feel good. Rehab's been going great. So just taking it one day at a time. Everything been smooth so far. Good.
Up until the point, how's your off season going? You know,
I've had a great off season. Off season been great. Until the injury, obviously, but you know, it's not ideal. But you know, I'm in good spirits. I feel good. So just taking it one day at a time, and just ready to get back out there with the guys.
Obviously, free agency is a two-way street. What did you like about everything in Orlando that made you come back and join this team?
Man, even last year was like a very interesting year, but it was probably one of the most fun years I had playing basketball in a while. Just being around this group of guys, being around Coach Mosley. You know, they're building something around here, and it's something that I definitely wanted to be a part of, and it's something that, you know, I see the talent we have in this team. I see the work the guys have been putting in this whole summer, and just like, I'm just looking forward to this year. Just this facility that we're in right now, I mean, it's just, everything has just been falling into place. So, you know, Orlando's been feeling like home, and just, you know, the love I've gotten from the whole organization, the coaching staff, the guys. So it felt like it was an easy decision, and, you know, I'm happy with it, and, you know, I'm looking forward to, you know, being here, and, you know, it's time for us to, you know, start winning some games.
This is a young team, obviously. I think you could probably safely say you're one of the veteran guys on the team.
What am I, the second oldest one here right now?
Something like that.
Shit.
How do you kind of take on that leadership role with a group like this? I mean, they seem so incredibly close.
Yeah, everybody's so close. So I mean, it's just gonna be having those hard conversations. We're just gonna have to hold each other accountable. We play around a lot. We joke around. We have a good. We had a good chemistry, but now, you know, it's time to, you know, take a next step. You know, we can't make the same mistakes we made last year. You know, we have to take the approach to the game seriously, whether that starts in practice, starts in the first day of camp. So just being able to push each other, you know, be able to compete, you know, at all times, and, you know, being there for each other. You know, we're all close around the same age. You know, I'm kind of on the outlier side now, being older, but you know, we all want to see each other succeed. You know, we all want to help each other out, and I think if we come with that mindset, it's going to be a great year.
You've experienced firsthand what it's like to find your footing in this league. Is there any particular player on this young roster that you think can make a leap to get that Most Improved Player award?
I mean, like Most Improved Player award? I mean, I feel like we have a lot of candidates. I mean, we have a lot of talent on this team, you know, top to bottom. It could be anyone. And, you know, I feel like the more success we have as a team, the more that, you know, we have a realistic chance of, you know, guys actually winning that award. So, it's going to take one, it's going to take all of us. It's not just going to be one guy. It's going to be all 5 guys on the floor, the rest of the guys on the bench. We're going to be constant communication. We have to push each other. And the sky's the limit for a lot of guys. A lot of guys are just now scratching the surface of how good they can be. So I'm very excited to, seeing these young guys grow and, growing alongside with them.
Markelle, he mentioned that he believes that this team can be the 4th seed in the East. Can you just speak to that and what the expectations are for this team?
Man, we're confident. We have a confident group. We know the talent we have in here, and it starts tomorrow. And it's not going to be easy by any means, but if we come in and do the stuff we're supposed to do on a daily basis, we don't cut corners, we hold each other accountable, we push each other, we get better each and every day. Look up at the end of the season, that could be a very realistic chance. Nothing's going to be given to us. Nobody's going to expect us. Nobody's going to say that they expect us to be that, so we're going to have to go out there and take it.
What's an individual goal for you personally this season?
Me, individually, my main thing is just staying healthy. When I feel like I'm healthy, I can do it. I can help the team out in, many ways, whatever the team needs of me. But, my focus really isn't on myself. I definitely got to get healthy and, get better. But, if we continue to do what we're supposed to do and build on the things we built on last year, individually it'll be a great season for everyone.
You were one of the best corner three-point shooters in the league last year. Do you think the addition of Paolo and the improvement of Franz over the season, do you think that's going to help you get to your spot easier?
We got Franz. He had a hell of a summer. He just got back. I know he's tired. I've been seeing Paolo and just seeing how smart he is, how he sees the floor and his vision. I'm looking forward to, being able to be in a position. I'm going to knock them shots down for them guys, when they find me. So just continue to, grow as a team, grow together, get healthy. When I get out there, I'm going to knock them shots down for them for sure.
When you decided to re-sign this summer, if you just kind of compared the Denver team in its early days when you guys were a bunch of young guys to this roster, do you see any similarities there?
Yeah, it happens fast, and I've seen it firsthand. I remember we missed the playoffs by one game, 2 years in a row, and the next thing you know, we weren't. The lowest we got was the 3 seed all year, and that was only for a few days. So, the shit happens fast, and if we come out and we get off to a good start, do what we're supposed to do. Shit, you never know what could happen. If we could hold it down, we have the confidence, we got the talent, we got the guys, and I'm not saying I'm not giving any specific place, but playoffs is a real realistic goal, and if we do what we're supposed to do, I truly believe that we can make it there.
Thanks, Gary.
No doubt.
Last time we really chatted with you was in Summer League. How were you able to build off that into the summer? What were you able to take from that experience as you get ready and come into training camp?
Yeah, I think just like you said, just an experience playing a real NBA game, or not, but NBA rules against NBA caliber players. So, I think it just sets kind of a bar of what you need to do and what you need to exceed. Kind of see what you can get better at, what you did well, and just a fun experience to get out there and play and then learn from that for sure.
We've talked about a series of firsts, what it's like, your first, Summer League game, first Summer League training. To have your first media day, what's this experience been like? And does it hit you even more that you're in the NBA?
Yeah, for sure. It's been real fun. Just all the different people you get to meet, different pictures, different weird questions, So it's been cool. Yeah, definitely you see more you have media day and stuff in college, and this is just way bigger, So you can definitely kind of feel like you're in the NBA,
What's the weirdest question?
There's been a bunch, to be honest. It's, I don't know. They used to be asking a lot about food, I don't know, but yeah, this is a bunch of different stuff.
Is this your first real time in this facility?
Yeah, I had came when I got drafted for a little tour, but other than that, this is the first time for sure.
What are you looking forward to the most with all the crazy amenities?
Everything. I think it's just a real good place to come every day and get better with the guys, using the weight room. They got crazy food out there, so just everything really.
What kind of role do you see for yourself this season? Just getting started.
Yeah, I think I can just be someone to come in, really learn from all these guys. I think we got a young team, but a very experienced team. Guys with a lot of knowledge, even though they're young too. And just someone that could come in and just try and help the team in any way he can, make winning plays, someone that could shoot the ball. And get better as the season progresses, for sure.
I think on draft night you had mentioned that you and Paolo didn't really know each other prior. Obviously you played and Summer League, and you have however many interactions here, but what are your initial impressions of him, and how good can you guys be on the court?
Right. Yeah, for sure. Like off the court, just a real good dude, real down to earth, nice dude, funny, cool to be around with. And on the court, like just super skilled, big fella, can really do everything on the court. You know, easy to play with. Just when we're going up and down 5-on-5, just easy to play with. Makes the right decision. Makes it easier for his teammates. So it's a lot of fun playing with him.
What was the biggest thing that you learned from, obviously summer league, but what was the biggest thing you learned about jumping up to the NBA level from your time at summer league?
Probably the pace of the game, as well as like the physicality, a lot different from college. I also learned that just playing like 5-on-5 here with the guys over the summer, but that's probably the biggest thing for sure.
Caleb, one of the things I always find interesting to hear from first-year players is who they're looking forward to coming up against in the coming season. Obviously, we've been watching the NBA a long time.
Right.
Is there any players you're looking forward to facing, this season?
Any players? I mean, a lot of guys like LeBron, KD, Tatum, guys I've kind of looked up to growing up. Those, just to name a few. Yeah.
How helpful has it been having a couple Michigan guys and Moe and Franz around? Have they been able to help kind of ease your transition here?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, knowing people before coming into the NBA, I feel like it's a lot, especially if you don't really know no one, a whole new experience. So those guys, knowing those guys before, seeing them at Michigan, it's definitely made it easier to see like a familiar face. You know what I mean? X has been doing a good job with that too, just helping me get adjusted. For sure, yeah.
The one thing that we all noted was the chemistry of this group. I mean, we're all relatively young, but what have you noticed about kind of how this team like works and plays together, and how they kind of begun integrating you into the fold?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like just like I said before, it's a real good group of young guys. You know what I mean? Everyone's cool. Everyone gets along. Everyone comes to the gym and gets their work in, but also has a good time doing it. So I think, I'm very grateful to be here, and just with a real good group of guys, for sure.
When it came time to select the 32nd pick, the front office was pretty much celebratory when you were still on the board. Can you speak on like the pre-draft interactions you've had with this front office? So what made that connection so personal?
Yeah, I mean, Orlando was my first workout for like the whole draft process. So, I mean, I thought it went well, the whole workout, and really just outside of basketball, the conversations that I had with all the front office guys, even the coaches, just all the interaction I had with them was real good. So finding out that I was coming to Orlando, I was real pleased, real happy. Couldn't have asked for something else better. But yeah, I was real happy when that happened.
Good deal. Thanks, Caleb.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
He's going along.
I feel fantastic. I feel the best that I felt, through this entire process. I've been telling everybody, I'm running, I'm jumping, I'm playing one-on-one, I'm doing all these things, and we're ready to kind of just really start putting it all together and ramping this thing up. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I want to get on the court. I'm excited about it, and
I know, there's different organizations throughout the league. Some people could put pressure on
Right.
people. Some people could rush people along. Just how much have you felt the support from the organization since the beginning of what they put behind you and rehabbing you along the right way?
Yeah, they've been great. Not even them putting the pressure on me. It's me putting the pressure on them. To be honest with you, just like, let's go. But I want to do this thing right. I don't want to have any more injuries. So I want to, take my time and get this thing solidified and behind us all, and just get back to playing basketball.
Obviously, you're not playing 5-on-5 yet, but how close do you feel like you are skill-wise to where you were before the injury, or even the
Skill-wise?
first injury?
I mean, skill-wise, I feel like, I'm the best basketball player that I've been so far. When it comes to shooting the ball and just feeling comfortable out there, I feel great, skill-wise and all that, ball handling and all that.
J.I., if you kind of reflect over the last couple of years, what have you learned about the game of basketball that you maybe wouldn't have picked up on if you're playing 30, 35 minutes a game, just, watching and kind of reflecting on the game?
What have I learned about the game of basketball? I would say just from the outside looking in is that you can't cheat it. And, when I look at our team and I see, we're young, we're excited, and we're hungry, but at the end of the day, it's about the work. And if a team is better than us right now, then we got to work that much harder to catch them. And that's what I've been preaching, and that's what I'm gonna roll into training camp with and talking about with these guys, and I want for myself and the entire organization and team.
Yeah, you've been talking about, as you mentioned, what you were preaching. How has your NBA game and your life been going along with you How does that work together?
Well,
Pastor slams the ball on the guard from the other.
Well, I'm not a pastor. You know, I speak at my church every now and then. But no, I mean, it's just a facet of my life. I love the game of basketball. I love the Word of God, and you know, when I'm out here playing ball, I'm playing ball, and I definitely use a lot of that stuff to, you know, get my mind where it needs to be and focused and, you know, calm and ready to go. And I'm just excited to be playing basketball again.
Jonathan, you seem like you feel like you might be ready to get back on the floor. What's been the messaging from the team in terms of like final hurdles that you need to clear to resume full activity?
Well, there are no more hurdles that we have to clear. We've kind of hit these different, you know, points of like the sprinting work, the jumping work, the body contact work, and now it's time to like, can we put it all together with, you know, with the way that we're working out, you know, where it's like, okay, you're guarding this guy, then you're on offense over here, and then you're hitting this guy. Can we put it all together and do it enough to where we feel comfortable to let you out there? If it's on me, I'm like, I feel comfortable right now. But, you know, it's you know, they're going to give me their timeline and just, you know, take it one day at a time and attack it and be ready to go. No, not in terms of like when they feel like it's going to be something, you know, specific. I think it's just the way my body responds. So as we ramp this thing up, can I do it multiple days in a row of running, jumping, hitting, sprinting, dunking, and be okay? Or is it going to be, you know, 2 to 3 days and like, okay, I need a break just based on how I'm feeling? Because a lot of this stuff I haven't done, you know, in a you know, at game speed. And so I'm just excited to hear that word game speed again and be ready to ramp to game speed. My bad. And so yeah.
This is a very different team since when you first became part of the organization. What have you seen from guys like Paolo, guys like Caleb?
I think it's just special. I think it's special. You know, you guys are going to be extremely excited about Paolo. He's young, he's big, he's mobile, and just the size that we have. Like the lineups that we're going to be able to have this season are going to be scary. Honestly, with the size and versatility of the guys that we have on this team. So I'm just excited, and I think for me it's just, can we get to a mindset that is you know best related to us winning games. Like we have the pieces, we have the young core, we have all that stuff. Can we walk into games like we believe that we can win, or are we going to be the young kids on the block? And so yeah.
You know, Jay, for some teams, you know, when you get back to fully practicing against these guys, you might be the tallest or longest guy on a team, but for this team, you have Bol Bol, you have Moe Bamba, you have other guys who are big and long. Just how much can that help this group in a practice setting continue to elevate their play and, you know, kind of along the old lines of iron sharpens iron, continue to elevate each other?
Yeah, I mean, we're challenging each other. You know, nobody's getting anything given to them, and having that size even helps because you can't sneak anything by, and so you know, the size is exciting, the length is exciting. The shooting capability with length and size is exciting, and I just can't wait for it all to kind of really mesh together and be cohesive.
So Jonathan, going into training camp, would you describe yourself as 100% in terms of recovery from?
In terms of recovery, yes. In terms of being in game shape and being ready to play game speed, no. And so exactly, and so I'm going to be in drills in training camp. I'm not going to be in obviously the full court run, 5-on-5. But in terms of recovery, I'm recovered. I'm at a place of now just, can we get this guy to game shape and being game ready.
Being a defensive specialist for most of your career, you have an eye for what makes a really good defender. What can you speak to Jalen Suggs' defensive ability, what makes him such a great defender even in his first year?
I think the first step in being a great defender, I mean, I'm not even saying that like I'm that guy or whatever, but it's mentality. And I think coming from football, he has that kind of dog mentality when it comes to playing defense. And at the end of the day, it's a want. You got to want to play defense to be a great defender. And him, just again, like his size, he's strong, he's fast, and he has that want factor on defense. And so I can't wait to really share the floor with him and see what we can do.
Coach Mosley's talked all offseason about this team leveling up, and you, Terrence, Markelle, and Moe Wagner, I think are the only guys that have been on this team. But from the previous iteration of this team that made the playoffs, what does leveling up mean to you from this group? Having been around them, maybe not playing with them yet, but having been around them, and then how can you help this team with your experience and your playoff experience, help them kind of reach those goals?
Yeah, I mean, a bit of what I talked about before. We have the pieces in-house. We have the training facility, all the things that we have. leveling up is going to be mentality. Do we believe that we can win? Do we believe that we can really bring championships here? And then can we put the work in? And so, again, that's been my messaging. That's what I'm going to be preaching all training camp. That's what I'm going to be preaching all season. Talk is cheap. We got to go out there and put the work in and believe that we can beat these teams that are going to roll in here and think that they're just playing against the same old Orlando Magic, but it's not happening. And so we're excited about it and we're ready to go.
Jonathan, have you prepared your hurricane supplies yet?
I have not. Honestly, I really haven't paid much attention to that. So I probably need to. I need to call my wife. Let it get things situated. Yeah, thank you.
Jonathan, just given the amount of time that you've missed, is there any sense of feeling you need to prove yourself again to these guys in the league when you come back?
I wouldn't say. At the end of the day, what's going to happen is going to happen. So in terms of like going out there with a chip on my shoulder, like I need to prove something, my game is my game, and I know that I can still play it at a high level, and a higher level than I've ever played it before. And so, I'm going to be ready to go, and I'm excited to play, and I'm excited to find out the player that I'm going to be. And I know that I haven't even begun to scratch the surface of what I can be in this league. And so, yeah.
What kind of emotions are you going to be feeling going forward the first time you step out on the court, specifically at home?
I would say, honestly, gratefulness. Even to be doing this again, I wasn't really that involved in the last media day. I'm grateful to be out here. I'm grateful to be with the guys again, and when my feet do touch the floor again, I'm just going to be grateful. God has been good to me through my ups and through my downs, and to touch the floor again and be ready to play NBA basketball is definitely going to be just an overwhelming sense of gratefulness, to God and to this organization for still believing in me and keeping me around.
Jonathan, how do you fit in with the guys? You've seen your games last season, always on the bench, always with them, but how do you fit in as far as the brotherhood of the organization?
Yeah, I think I fit in great. Guys see me kind of as like a big brother, even though I'm like the same age as them. They feel like I'm mature for some reason, and so I'm always there for them. Going through injuries has definitely given me a sense of being able to identify with other guys, who go down or get injured or anything like that. But every guy on this team knows that I'm there for them, and I'd be there for them at the drop of a hat. And so. It's all love, it's all respect, and they know I just want to win and I just want to get back. And just as much as I'm excited to play, I promise you they're just as excited to get me back. And so we talk about it every day. Whenever they see me, they're like, "When are you ready? When are you ready? When are you ready?" And so I can't wait to put it together.
Do you feel like a veteran now?
Kinda. Not gonna lie, I don't think I'm there yet. But just with this team, we're so young. I'm one of the most tenured players on the team. And so I definitely feel like I have something to say or a mentality that can rub off on these young guys and get them, into shape.
Jonathan, you haven't played under Coach Moe, obviously,
right.
With your injury. Have you talked with him at all about kind of what he expects for you or your role?
I've had a ton of conversations with Coach Moe, and he's excited. I'm excited. Every time I see him, he says, "One day at a time." He can't wait to get me back. And so, I can't wait to play for him. He's just a great coach. And I'm excited to get into the schemes and the offense and the defense and all that stuff.
Okeke or like Okeke or
Okeke.
Okeke.
Yeah.
Will you just take us through learning about that, and that's kind of cool.
I mean, yeah, it is cool. But yeah, like I just be meeting a lot of Nigerians. You feel me? A lot of people from Africa, and they just be telling me like, no, this is how you say your name. Your name is Okeke, not Okiki. And I've been hearing that since I was young because, I played with a lot of Nigerians on my AAU team and all that. But, feel me, I was young, so that was just like, man, my name Okeke, you feel me? This is the way I'm saying it. This is the way I'm used to saying it, so that's what it is. But no, it's pronounced Okeke, and yeah, that's what it is.
Chuma, just how excited are you to get camp started? Obviously, you've been working hard all summer, to get things tipped off with these guys.
I'm actually very excited for this year. I feel like we got a good group, very versatile in all positions, honestly. And I'm really excited to see how the season gonna go, see how we all fit and how we all play together. But I feel like it'll turn out good, Just gotta lock in on key things, key details, and let the rest take care of itself.
You're a very cerebral big with the way you play the game, fluidly as a wing forward. When you look at Franz, he plays similarly. When you look at Paolo, he could play similarly. Just with you guys all out there together, how cerebral do you feel that group could be, and good flow of the gameplay that you guys could create together?
I mean, I feel like we all got a good feel for the game. And like you said, those guys with Franz and Paolo, they're big, but they move like a wing and like guards. And they also got good feel around the game, good feel of the game. Feel me? They got good touch around the basket. They gonna make the right plays. From what I've seen with Franz last year, I was making the right plays, and what I've seen from Paolo, just in us playing against each other at the old facility. But yeah, man, like I feel like we positionless, and I feel like we could do good this year. Like, feel good.
I think every year since you've been here, obviously you've gotten older, but I think your teammates have gotten younger each year since you've been here. Do you feel like a bit of a veteran?
Sometimes I do be feeling like a vet for real. Like I'm probably like in the middle though. I'm not the oldest, but I'm not the youngest either. But I still feel like a vet being there, you feel me? Like, well, I'm 24 years old, and what, Paolo and Caleb is how old? They're like 19, 20 years old. Like, that's just crazy.
How do you balance trying to mix in or try to act like a vet, but also try to be like one of the younger guys because there's so many?
So, I don't know. I just be myself for real. I feel like I'm always trying to play around and stuff like that. But as far as being the vet, I feel like my word will probably hold a lot of weight, being that I've been here for a while. So just taking that stance on the court, speaking up, talking when I need to talk, but not saying too much at the same time, if that makes sense. And just having fun, because that's really all basketball is about, you feel me? Of course, we get paid to do it, but at the end of the day, we started doing it because it was fun for us to do, and we enjoyed doing it. So, yeah.
When you look at your season last year, where did you feel like you needed to improve or take a step up as you get ready for this season? Or how do you assess your second season last year?
Just being more consistent with the little things, and just by us doing that and just by me doing that, that'll like show big improvements in like the overall goal and what we're trying to do. So just really tuning in on the little stuff and just, you feel me, tightening up a little screws here and there and just being more consistent.
What are some of the little things that you're looking to improve on?
Just the rotations, like sometimes I go back and watch some games from last year, or watch highlights or whatever the case may be. I'd be like, what was I thinking? Like, what was I doing out there? You feel me? So like just little rotations on defense, offensive stuff. You feel me? Execution is going to be real big for us this year. Of course, we're a young team, but we also got vet guys on this team, and we got young vets on this team too, who've been in the league and know what our coaches expect and know what the organization expect and what we expect from each other as well. So just little stuff like that. Execution for sure.
Everyone good?
Thanks, Chuma. Obviously, you've been working out with these guys hard all summer. You know, as you go into camp, how competitive an environment do you expect to see from this group when you get things tipped off tomorrow?
High level, man. Most of the guys have been here, you know, majority of summer. Like, I live here, so I'm always, you know, in the gym. I work out here more than anywhere else. So seeing most of the guys back here throughout the course of the summer just lets you know that, you know, it's going in the right way. And I mean, when I was in Toronto, that was one of the bigger things that we did in the off season, because we couldn't all spend time in Toronto, but we spent a lot of time with each other in LA and Vegas and other places. And I think little things like that help kind of glue us, gel us together a little bit more. And so seeing that here this summer is a good sign.
This is obviously still a really, really young team, and you and Gary are kind of the veterans in the group. How important is your presence and your voice to kind of helping this team kind of move in the right direction and the vision that you guys see for it?
I think it's going to be detrimental just because I think that with these guys, most of them are young, 1 or 2 seasons in the league. And for me and G, we've been around. We've been on some high-level teams. We've made it to the postseason. So I think for us, like, the biggest way for us to kind of help them is just, it sounds funny, but like through the storytelling almost, because that's the biggest way. That's how I learned. It was just me being a younger guy. I was such a fan of the NBA that I used to ask a lot of questions to Kyle, or DeMar, or John Salmons, or Chuck Hayes, or whoever's in the locker room, because I just kind of like the history behind it and just seeing their experience. And that's one thing that, you know, me and G do a good job of is, you know, when we're in the locker room before active practice, like, we're talking to the guys. We're kind of getting their mindset and kind of feeling the vibe, and then we just kind of start, you know, telling our experience, and kind of helps them understand that, you know, it's a process and everybody goes through, you know, the ups and downs, and it kind of gives them just the
just the peace of mind knowing that, you know, they're not alone in these hard times. So I think with me and G, we're going to do a good job of, you know, keeping everybody not in check, but in good spirits.
On the flip side of that, have there been any young guys that have been like sponged, always wanting to learn from you and G?
Yeah, honestly, that's how honestly the majority of the locker room is. Because these guys, like everybody from Paolo to even Cole to I don't want to say Chuma, but like most of the young guys, Jalen, they're coming to the league. This is all new for them. They all, you know, looked up to being in the NBA one day. So when you're here, of course, it's just natural that you ask questions, that you kind of just, you know, ask the other guys, you know, what it's been like or what they used to go through training camp. So that's how it's been. We've just been, you know, talking, you know, vibing, and it's been a good time, man. We've been hanging out with each other on the weekends. You know, silly as it sounds, we've been playing video games together, and that's been keeping us all on the same page. So it's been a good preseason so far.
Terrence, earlier the offseason, you were on a podcast and you made it seem like you weren't sure if you were going to be back in Orlando, but recently we've seen you just been one of the more outspoken, you know, members on the team on your podcast and on your streams about how excited you are about the Magic this year. What kind of changed in between there?
I mean, honestly, anytime you get the number one pick, that is going to put everybody in good spirits, from the players to the city to the front office people. So I think, you know, when we got that pick, that was, you know, a good start, because that's where, you know, things start to boil down. You're going to get the best player available. So, and then on top of that, like, I think picking Paolo was exciting just because, you know, I think everybody up to that point was thinking, hey, we're going to take you to Chet or maybe even Jabari. So it was just kind of like seeing Paolo, I felt like he was the guy that was kind of most well-rounded to what we need, and he kind of would fit us the best. And seeing Paolo was like, okay, that's exciting. Like, the number one pick, this is going to be a stud coming in here. And, you know, just even working out with him and just seeing him with the team, like, he fits in so well, man. It's not like any ego with him. He works. He wants to get better. He understands, you know, what the situation is. So anytime you can get that, it feels like it makes everybody feel good. So for sure, you get that one pick, you're going to have fun that year. So I think that's kind of all what we're expecting.
To play with cerebral bigs like Franz, Paolo, Wendell.
Cerebral, I like that.
Who all,
I like that.
Who all know how to distribute from that position and play make for others. Just how much can that help guys in the backcourt like yourself get open shots and create more opportunities for others?
It's big. I think just even with the end of the last season, you know, the way we were playing, the way, you know, our team was headed, just the mindset. We were beating good teams. We were finding a way to play. We were playing with discipline. If we can find a way to start training camp with that level of intensity and focus, I think it will jumpstart us to have a good start of the season. And then seeing, you know, guys in the summertime, seeing everybody develop, seeing Franz over there turn into an icon, seeing, you know, Wendell come in here, get dieseled, J.I. getting healthy. Like, there's just so many positive things to look forward to that it's easy to be optimistic about the season. And just with our bigs, man, like, Wendell's a top 10 center to me. Franz is a rising star. Like, it's a lot to look forward to. Those guys can play. You don't have to worry about anything. It's just about going out there and doing it now. So training camp is going to be fun.
On top of that, coach and a lot of players have said the little things are what matter in the now. What are some little things that you've noticed that you want to see from your squad?
Just doing what we've been doing already, man. The togetherness, the being in here, being dedicated. It's the biggest thing, like, especially from my position, going into my 11th year. I'm seeing the NBA different. I'm seeing, you know, how things work differently, and it's good for me to see that, because now I can easily kind of convey that message of, like, what we need to do or what we need to focus on when it comes to the younger guys. Because when you're young, you're not thinking about almost anything other than coming in here and playing basketball, and then just making sure that they have that intensity, and that, you know, me and G can kind of provide like the veteran leadership is like, okay, look, we are doing the right things, but we have to do it the right way, and we have to do things accordingly. So I think when those two things align, we definitely could be a really good team. We just have to be super disciplined, super focused, and that's going to be, you know, how we are going to get our bread and butter.
individually, last year shooting-wise was the greatest numbers-wise. I think a lot of teams were probably kind of top-locking you, kind of putting a lot of emphasis on you. How do you kind of get yourself back to where you expect yourself to be, or what did you work on to kind of adjust to how defenses were playing you last year?
Honestly, this summer, I worked on, and it sounds kind of weird, but I worked on shooting a lot of highly contested shots and more difficult shots, and the shots I know that I'll probably be ended up catching or having this season, especially with a young team. We're going to be disciplined, but I know there's going to be times where we're going to get up and down and things are going to get a little janky, but I kind of do my best to kind of prepare for that, and going into the season knowing that, like, the shots that I got from 2 seasons ago are going to be completely different from the shots I get this year. So trying to acclimate my game to that more so than it was in the previous is kind of what I spent this entire summer working on, is trying to shoot at a more efficient clip, higher difficulty, and trying to make myself uncomfortable as much as I can, because I know a lot of this season will be me being uncomfortable in this situation with the top locks and the double teams and them running me off the line. So it's just the mental aspect of that. I had my old trainers come back in, so I really focused on trying to be more efficient at the lesser touches I probably would end up getting. So that for me has just been my focus, and hopefully, I can see some of that come to fruition.
Seeing defenses top block you,
yeah.
They're defending you, do you take that as like a compliment? As like, oh, they know I'm that important that they gotta put that much focus on me?
I just see, when the team's game plan, they're gonna try to make it as tough and difficult on the other team as possible. So I think they see the way our team is structured, that one of the bigger things that they could do with me is try to eliminate some of the easier catch and shoots and pin downs. So they're gonna try to disrupt as much as they can, so I'm just trying to prepare for that.
You touched on the shots that you're working on. Does that play a role in how important the three-point ball has played a role in the NBA now?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, man. When you can shoot threes, take Steph for instance. He shoots at a high clip. He also shoots a lot of tough threes. But when you make those threes, it opens up the floor for everybody else. And then it takes them out of what they're doing. So if you can make some of those threes, if I can make just 2 or 3 more threes, then I know that opens up space for Wendell to post up. That opens up for space for Boogie to get going, and that opens up for just so many other players that I think that is kind of something I need to focus and put more pressure on.
Terrence, can you still out-jump everyone on this team?
Absolutely. Easy.
Terrence, you talked about how exciting it was drafting Paolo. Markelle shared with us earlier that he believes this team can reach, the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. Has there been a conversation just in the locker room in terms of what your expectations are this season?
No, for sure. I think all of us, and we don't try to be too arrogant about how we feeling, but I mean, that should be one of the goals. Shooting for as high as you can, because even if you miss, you're gonna end up somewhere still in the playoffs. So I think for us, worst case scenario, and I don't like talking like this, but honestly, playing the East I feel a little more open than it was last season, and we're in a much better place than we were last season. So, us being healthy, us getting here, being here in the summertime, getting that work in, I think when we look in hindsight, we're gonna look at these moments to what was paying off.
All right, Admiral, we know you've been hard at work this summer, building off the summer league. Just how excited are you to get things tipped off and show everything that you've been working on this summer?
I'm very excited, to have a year under my belt with this organization, to be able to come in this summer and, put the work in and work on what I need to be prepared for this upcoming season in my role. I'm just really excited, especially having the new gym, the new facility. It's bringing a lot of energy towards this organization, towards this team, and we're just really excited to hit the ground running. But most importantly, instill some of the things that we've been talking about all summer, and to really hit the ground running and practicing those things for this season.
How much do you think it helps you, having last season, the summer, having worked on the terminology, to know everything as you hit the first day of camp?
It's very helpful. I remember last year, I got here a couple days before media day and had to jump right into camp, didn't really know terminology, had to go off of kind of what the universal league language is on defense and offense. But, having that couple months in Lakeland and then getting called up really helped me a lot. The guys have been great. Even the staff, very helpful all throughout the summer. But I think the biggest thing is we're healthy. We're getting healthier, and we're a lot stronger this summer. A lot of guys are putting a lot of work in the weight room. So the biggest thing for us is just the mental aspect And that's what camp's going to be about, just, adjusting and making those adjustments, but actually instilling, those principles, defensive principles, offensive principles into our team this year.
How much is that familiarity going to help you get better individually and help the team get better?
Going on to year 4, it's the familiarity is all you can ask for, as a vet. It's just, familiar faces for one, but also familiar terms and stuff like that out on the floor. But I think the biggest thing is just knowing that, this staff and everyone in this facility has your best interest at heart. It makes it a lot easier, even if you're new, to make mistakes, but also learn from them and get better. So I think the biggest thing is just understanding that this is a learning environment. You're not going to be patronized for making a mistake, but you're going to be held accountable for making consistent mistakes. And that's the biggest thing, is that we want to take a step forward this year in eliminating mistake after mistake, or letting mistakes compound on top of each other. So that's practicing on the floor, practicing in the facility, even outside of the facility. Those are the things we got to be consistent with.
So what you're saying toward the end there, Coach Mosley's told us about great accountability, leveling up. Is that really it, at least in terms of on the floor? Like,
yeah.
You can't make the same mistakes, and if you do, it may cost some playing time or rule. Like, is that really what he's preached to you guys?
Yeah. Honestly, it's just that accountability piece. And the biggest thing is that what he's been preaching is all that stuff's got to come from us as individuals, as a team, and collectively holding each other accountable and collectively getting on each other. It shouldn't just come from the coaches. It shouldn't just come from front office or peers. It should come from us in that locker room. And that's the biggest thing, is we're creating a culture where we can get on each other and hold each other accountable and go out there and be professionals and play the game and compete at a high level. No feelings involved, just going out and competing for these fans, competing for the city.
Admiral, you're looking very huge, I might say.
Yes,
what'd
sir.
you work on this offseason? What's been your big goal to improve in?
Defense, being able to guard 1 through 5. I've shown I can guard 2 through 5, but shown I can switch on the guards a lot more and bang down low with bigs and bigger wings. But the biggest thing is just shooting the ball. One of my goals is to be a 40% three-point shooter this year, but also attacking the basket a lot more. So put on a little muscle to be able to take a little more contact at the rim. But honestly, my goals is just to compete at a high level, bring energy, play with intensity, and just hold guys accountable, being a leader on this team.
With a team with so many bigs, so many wings, so much length, how do you feel about this positionless style of basketball that you can see this season, and how your spot fits in with that whole thing?
Yeah, I had a talk with Coach Moe's right after the season, and his goal for me was to be a Swiss Army knife, be able to be used in any type of fashion. So whether that's, sometimes helping running the offense, whether that's being the 5, whether that's being the shooting guard, or, running the floor, being a spacer. Whatever it takes, I'm that guy, and I'm just being prepared for whatever role I'm called on, this season. But I think the biggest thing for me is, having that all-around game that I have, just showing it a lot more this season within the role that I have.
Have you gotten a chance to guard Paolo yet, and what's it been like?
Yeah, it's been fun, man. I've been guarding Paolo all season, and I think he's very talented. It's a great pick from the Magic, and I'm really excited to see him go out there and compete against all the other vets and all the other stars in the league. But I think we got something really special in him, but also in this whole staff and in this roster that we have this year.
Admiral, we saw you come to your teammates' defense last year against Charlotte. Do you pride yourself on bringing a little bit of an edge to this roster?
Yeah, I'm not a bully, but, we're not going to get punked. And that's the biggest thing is I won't let people punk my teammates. I'm not the person to go and start stuff and all of that. But for me, it's just about competing. We are upholding a standard here. We're building a culture here. And for us, that's toughness is one of those things. And we won't be pushed around. We hear the disrespect in the media. We hear all of those things, but that's not our focus. But one thing we won't be is disrespected on the floor. And, that's one of my jobs. But the biggest thing this year is that everyone's going to play with that demeanor. We're not coming out here to be punked, ran over, blown out, any of that. We're coming to compete every night, and that's what we're instilling here.
The front office showed a lot of faith in the players by re-signing, keeping most of the band back together. What does that tell you about the confidence they have in all you?
They know that we have something special here. We have a really good roster, and I think most importantly is we have a really good locker room. And I don't think people understand how much, that plays a role to on-court success. And with the locker room we have, the relationships that guys have built, we're just only going to get better. We're young. The more time we spend together, we're only going to get better. And, we have veteran leadership in Gary Harris. We have veteran leadership in Terrence Ross. And, those guys, they're taking upon themselves to hold us accountable, help us grow up in certain aspects. And for me, it's also just being a leader by example, going out here, bringing intensity every day, having a smile on my face, being grateful for this opportunity. And I think guys can really connect with that, and understand that every day is a great opportunity to go out and get better. And it's just about getting 1% better every day. It's not about people's opinions. It's just about what we have in front of us today. And I think we've done a great job this summer of doing that.
Last year was really tough with the roster, a lot of guys in and out with injuries, COVID, all that kind of stuff. How excited are you guys to be almost completely healthy going into this season?
Well, that actually answers one of your questions too. With the roster that we have, we're built for, whatever is to come this season. And I think that a lot of the guys that are here, familiar faces, we have 2 new guys, but they've been acclimated very well this summer. And I think the biggest thing for us is just understanding no matter what's thrown at us, we all got to be ready. And that's why this positionless basketball, this unselfish mentality, it's not about me mentality that we have here is very important, because at any point in time, someone's number can be called, someone's role can be changed, and we need everybody to have the confidence to be able to step into any role this season.
Jalen, first off, how are you feeling heading into training camp?
I feel great. I feel confident. Body feels good. Mind is great, sharp, and ready to go. This is a big year coming up, not only for myself, but for us as a team. And, I want to be a part of that, and be able to affect, the game and, our success in every way possible. So, something that I've worked on all summer to get to that point. And, I feel really good heading into it. So, ready to go.
How did this summer look for you? What were you able to work on as you continued to build your NBA game?
Just started with a lot of rehab, trying to get my ankle back 100%. While we're doing that, we're working on the rest of my body, my upper body, my hips, my hammies, my quads, my stability, my core. All of that was getting worked on each and every day. I didn't really leave. I was in Orlando the whole summer. I think I got to go home one time really. So I really got to be here and put in some work, and the differences have really shown these past, couple of weeks when I've been able to play and get back and run with the guys, just how good I felt, and the differances I've seen in, each and every aspect. So, the summer definitely paid off. It was a good one. Me, Nate, Coach Randy, Mose, all of us, we got some great work in, and, just ready to kind of prove myself right and show it all off.
Is the ankle fully healed?
Yeah.
Ago?
Yeah.
When you reflect on your rookie season, what do you think about, what comes to mind when you have those reflections?
I think for me, it's exactly what I needed. It was a perfect learning experience. I wouldn't trade anything about last year, for nothing. It was, although it was hard, not being able to really get a rhythm. I was kind of playing, feel good, and then I get hurt. Someone set me back. It's kind of hard to get in a rhythm and a groove. I wouldn't trade that because I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about where I have to be to perform at the highest level, and going through adversity. I think if everything goes perfect, and goes according to plan, you don't really grow. It's hard to get learning experiences from that. So I'm just taking everything in from last year, building on the good, taking in, trying to get better and build on the bad, so that, we avoid those situations again and, come into this season ready to go.
What's the biggest lesson that you're trying to instill into the 2 rookies coming in this season?
I think the biggest thing would just be to be present. It flies by, and there's a ton of things coming at you, especially P being a high pick. It's funny, they're kind of in 2 different unique situations. Number 1 pick comes with a lot of responsibility, comes with a lot of hype, media, expectations, things like that. But just trying to be present, trying to be yourself, kind of helps take care of all of that. And then for Caleb, coming in 2nd round pick, people, aren't really expecting much of him. People, are asking, who is this? But, just from what I've seen while he's been here, the work that he's put in and his work ethic has been great. And he's hungry, he wants to get better, and he's been performing extremely well. He does the little things, which is something that we've been preaching, is dominate the simple. And he does each and every one of those things. So I'm excited for both of them, on their rookie years, and I'll be here to help in any way I can.
After you had a viral dunk on DeMar DeRozan last year that set everyone ablaze. You pointed to the Magic City. Now we got the number 1 pick, a new facility. How much do you think the culture is really building since the time you got here and from now? What kind of difference do you see?
We've definitely had a culture shift. From last year, just going through growing pains, it's hard when you're in losing situations and you're losing games to stay positive. I think we did a really good job of it. We stayed connected. We kept on building and preaching what we want to happen, to compete, to play hard for each other, and play the right way. To now when we're coming in and, guys are healthy, we're ready to roll. We're all feeling comfortable around each other, and we know exactly what needs to be done for us to have success. It shifted to, we can win now. We know we can win. We just have to execute, and do the things we're supposed to. So I think that's the biggest change in culture. We're all ready to play for each other, win for each other, and, I can't wait to see it come to fruition.
Heading to the offseason, you mentioned your shot as something you really want to work on. You reflect on it, what was going on, what was, causing the struggles from beyond the arc?
The biggest thing for me last year was just being consistent. Being consistent with everything I do, and it bled into my shot. Doing the same thing each and every time I go to put the ball up was part of it, and then the belief in it. Understanding, having the confidence. Every time I shoot it, I know this ball is going to go in the basket. Something that me, Nate, and Randy did was we took every jump shot, mid-range, three-pointers, off the dribble, catch and shoot. And we dissected it. How was the base? How was the pocket? How was the follow-through? How was the finish? And the ones where some of those were missing or they were all missing usually led to misses, and it just further opened my eyes that, when I'm consistent, when I'm doing what I know I'm supposed to be doing and locked in on my mechanics, they translate to makes, and I know who I am. I know I've never been a bad shooter, so it's really just getting that belief back that, this is who I am. This is something that I've always done, and again, like I said, prove it to myself, and let the world find out.
So did you change your mechanics, or?
How's your confidence going to be in your game going into this season?
Sky high, and I think that's a huge, almost pretty much the main difference from last year. Was just that belief. I remember in the Knicks game, I had said it, when Moe, I cussed and kind of got in trouble for it, but, it just reminded me, it's okay to understand and, know that you're him, and you are who you are. You're here for a reason. I know my teammates believe that. I know my staff believes it. I know my family believes it. I think the only one missing was myself, and it's a hard pill to swallow, especially in the moment. It was something that I couldn't recognize and dissect, but, now that I've kind of gotten to reflect on it, understand that was one of the major issues that was causing the problem. We focused on it. I've worked a lot on my mental game and mental aspect. That's a huge side of the game, and again, I feel supreme confident. I feel ready, engaged, to get this thing going. And like I said, I'm not here to prove anybody else right. I'm not here to prove media, the league, people who doubt or, don't believe anymore. I'm not here to prove them right because their opinions are opinions and everybody's going to have them. I'm here to prove myself right, and, they can find out. And if they switch, I feel sorry.
Not only is this your second NBA season, this is Coach Moe's second with the Magic. What differences have you seen from a player standpoint with his approach?
I think we're just holding everyone that much more accountable now. Little things, maybe that, were kind of let go last year are noticed now, and are spoken about, whether it is from Coach Moe's or from somebody else on the staff or for us as teammates. We're holding each other accountable, and, he always says, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. Don't take anything I say personal, because I'm not going to take anything that you say personal, but we're going to get better, as people and as, players and, coaches. So I think that's the biggest difference from last year to this year is just the attention to detail.
Jalen, we know about your football background and how physical you play. Has there been a struggle at all for you in the NBA to find that balance between, not changing who you are and keeping, that side of your game, but also being healthy and available, for your team this year and in your career down the road?
I don't think so. I think there was just a time where I was trying to force things to happen, because things weren't going the way I wanted to in the moment. And, kind of in that moment when it's going like that, you kind of want to make a drastic change. And I think the biggest, connection, correlation I can make to that is, you go for, straight one-play touchdowns, when you're down, and you need to make completions, take what the defense is giving you, drive down the field and go, go score a touchdown, and I was just going for bombs. But again, looking back on it, I'm glad that that's what happened. I'm glad that's the decision I made because I got to learn from it. And, I got to build off it. I got to grow. And, now where I have this mindset, well, okay, I've seen this, I've seen that. I'm confident and comfortable in every situation, that I can be put in right now, that I can perform at my highest level regardless of it. So I don't think that it's hard to find a balance. Football is part of who I am. It helps create the mindset that I play with. And that's me, and that's gotten me to this point.
Jalen, where do you expect to see the most growth with the team this season?
I think part of it comes with, like I said, just the attention to detail. I think so many times we were in games last year, we were playing well, and we'd come out flat in the third quarter. We'd have a 2-minute stretch maybe in the start of the fourth, or, to end the second half. Or whenever it is, just we lose the game based off 2-3-minute stretches, when we have a lapse, when we aren't locked in, when we're tired, and that would cost us, and this year that just can't happen, You're tired, we're asking for a sub, if we're not feeling it, we're asking for sub, but little things are going to be honed in on. And, if you're not ready to go out on the court, then you won't be out on the court. And Coach Moses expressed that, and we all understand that. We're kind of taking that mentality to build ourselves and get ourselves ready so that we can be on the floor, for every one of those moments. I know I have personally. So I think that's where we see the biggest growth.
Has there been a change in messaging, with the team in that regard?
I wouldn't say there's been a change in messaging, but I think everybody kind of understands now, like, look, we're going to hold you accountable, and, if it's something that needs to be said, it's going to be said, and you're not going to take it personal because everybody here is a family, and sometimes you have to have hard conversations with your family, but it's for the best, and it's all out of a place of love. So I think everybody understands that now. Those are getting said, and those things are getting said, and we're all building, we're all growing and getting better. So.
Last season, you had the biggest on-off swing in terms of defensive plus-minus. Do you think a defensive team is going to be a realistic goal for you this season?
Absolutely. I think that was always a realistic goal. Just from when I started playing basketball, I always took pride in defense. From being young and playing on the 8-foot hoops, when you couldn't press, I'd be sitting right at half court, waiting for the moment they stepped across the line to steal the ball. That's just kind of the mindset I've always had. Being a ball hawk, being able to shut, another one of the best players, down is not only helpful to the team, but, that picks me up. So, that's always been a realistic goal. Something that I'm always chasing, so I'm going to continue to carry my just aggressive mindset, try to continue to be smart about gambles and things like that, but, still be who I am on the defensive side.
You also did this one play a pretty numerous amount of times where you would jump the passing lane to get that free dunk. Is that something that, you've been working on too? Is like you've noticed that that's a real strength of yours, checking the passing lane? Yeah, I always knew it was a strength of mine. It's scary playing guys, who are in passing and things like that because, you can't just throw it, without care. Like, you have to be deliberate each time you pass the ball, or that's a free 2 points, and those hurt. But I think now it's just continue to calculate it and be smart about gambles to where they're extremely high percentage, and I know I'm not going to miss, so I don't put my team at a detriment.
Yeah, you got a high basketball IQ. What do you see in Paolo and Caleb, the two rookies, what they're going to bring to this team, starting the season?
I've been extremely impressed with Caleb. First of all, his work ethic has been excellent. He's been in the gym, he's been watching film, he's getting up extra shots. I was working on his ball handling, you can tell he wants to get better. He does all the little things, that you want somebody to do. He runs the floor, sprints to the corner every time. He crashes the glass, plays defense. He's a smart basketball player. So I think people are going to be really surprised, on how good he is and, his abilities this year. And Paolo is he's one of those guys, he's able to shoot, he's able to attack the rim, he's able to pass, whatever you need him to do. He's athletic, he's strong. It's just we're all here for Paolo to help him get better, and however good he wants to be, he's going to be that. And you see that talent flash all the time. So I'm extremely excited, to see them get to work, to see them play, and get to experience this year one. And like I said, I'll be here, in any way possible, to help them.
Jalen, what NFL quarterback reminds you the most of you when you played?
When I played quarterback, QB that reminded me of myself. I ran a lot, but I really love to stay in the pocket, and I think that's something that Lamar Jackson's talked about a ton. I think another one who isn't playing right now, but just from all of his film, is Deshaun Watson. I think those are two that, whose games I really have watched a lot, especially while I was, doing film and playing football and all that. People that I ended up watching a lot. So.
You watch Josh Allen and Mahomes a lot?
Yeah, I do. I think my favorite quarterback though is Aaron Rodgers. All time, that is, that's who my favorite quarterback is. But yeah, I'd see you talk about football with y'all all day.
Back to basketball. When you were talking about your jump shot and analyzing your jump shot and working with the other guys, do you okay, so you're to the point where you look at a video and then you can see why you missed the shot?
Yeah.
Like with your feet, there's something wrong with the approach. So that's how you plan on improving your shot, by eliminating the mistakes that go into a shot.
Yeah, I think it's just minimizing variables, that are different, than I know I'm supposed to do. And when I kick my leg out, I know that's going to throw off my balance.
Oh, yeah.
When I tilt my head to the side, I know it's going to throw off, my depth perception, my dexterity. When I'm not getting the ball to my pocket, I know I'm cutting my shot. Now I'm going to have to alter it when I release it, to bring it back to the left, because I'm bringing it, from my left to my right. Like things like that, taking those out of my shot, so I don't have to worry about it. So I'm doing the same thing every time. And when something goes wrong and I miss, I understand what the problem is.
There really are a lot of pieces to a jump shot, aren't there? It looks like such a simple thing to do, but
there are. But I think I've gotten to a point where it's just become second nature. And I was talking to Tay about it the other day. He said you feel a lot more comfortable with your shot. It looks a lot better. It's just like it looks like you believe anymore. And I think I told him it just feels natural now. I'm not thinking about it. I need this to go in. I want this to go in. I need this one to pick me up. No, it's whether I make 4, miss 4 in a row. This shot's money. I know what I got to do. So.
And you probably didn't have that at this time last year.
No.
Change of mechanics?
No change in mechanics. Just more consistent with it.
Little podium. Franz, just how much do you feel ready heading into training camp, considering you were just playing extremely competitive basketball just seemingly a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I think Eurobasket was a good, kind of preparation for this. Like you said, very competitive games. Obviously, I've been working out for the past couple of months, so should be ready to go tomorrow.
As you look at this group, just how excited are you to get on the court and play with these guys? From a front court perspective, it's unusual to have so many bigs who could put the ball on the floor, are very cerebral playmakers, but you guys find yourself in that situation.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm really excited for the group that we have. Like you said, just our versatility, really at every position, I think is gonna hopefully especially help us on defense. But yeah, I'm very excited to play with all these guys.
What's the biggest thing that you think you can take away from that Eurobasket experience?
Just that every game was important. The games were really competitive. Every possession was important, and hope I can bring that focus. That's required in those moments. To our games here.
How much more confident are you feeling after that, playing against Giannis and some of those guys and performing so well?
Yeah, I feel confident. I was confident before. I think that just comes from working, and seeing also some of the stuff work, then in competitive situations, and hopefully I can continue to develop.
And what are the clips that went viral? You hit a step back on Giannis. Can you sort of break down that play? What was going through your mind when you saw this 7-foot monster just defending you and you managed to hit that 3?
Yeah, they were just making a run, so coach was probably looking for a different shot in that moment, but I was able to create some separation and get the shot off. Obviously, it's really tough against a player like that, so luckily it went in, and then it kind of helped us keep some momentum in the game.
Franz, we know you tweaked your ankle a little bit. Are you 100% good to go tomorrow, full
Yeah.
participant?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Great.
Franz, I have no idea how much you looked at social media while you were over there, but there was a huge amount of support from Orlando fans, seemingly watching every Germany game.
Yeah.
Were you able to feel that at all, and did you see any of that support?
I wasn't on Twitter or on social media myself that much, but I definitely felt it, people sending me stuff and stuff like that, so I think that's really cool that people stay up or wake up early to watch the games, and even some of my teammates watch, and I think that's was a cool feeling for me coming back.
In the European competition, position-wise, what were you? What did you
I was basically like with the Magic. I was a wing 2-3, even sometimes playing the 4. The variety of situations. Yeah.
I had asked Cole Anthony earlier. He said that he believes you could be an All-Star this season. Do you think that's a realistic goal for yourself?
I'm not gonna set that goal for myself. I think it's unnecessary and doesn't get me closer to that. So I just want to stay in the moment, have fun playing with all these guys, and really just enjoy being here.
What are some goals that you have? Maybe not All-Star, but what are some goals that you've set yourself for the season?
You're not gonna get the answer that you want probably. Like I just said, my goal is to get better every day, progress and keep working on what I've been working already, and hopefully apply some of those things that I've learned this summer.
Franz, how cool is it for you to be present for the retirement of Dirk's Germany jersey? I bet that's probably a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, that was special. We had the game right after, and we were on the tunnel watching from there. So it's never happened before, so it was really cool for it to happen in Germany, and obviously he deserves it. And I think it was really cool for all of us on the team, because for some of them played with him, but basically for everybody, he's an idol and role model that helped kind of shape their careers probably a little bit as well.
You guys had the advantage of playing the group stage, in Cologne, and then the final tournament in Berlin.
Yeah.
How special was it to be able to bring home the bronze for Germany in Germany?
Yeah, it was really cool. Hopefully, we're able to create some momentum for German basketball. More kids starting to play basketball back home. But yeah, it was special. It was cool for me because obviously it was my first time, so. All the work that the other people had put in all those years before, seeing how happy they were to win that medal, that was for me the coolest part.
There was a rumor that Dirk was thinking about playing. Is there any truth to that?
I'm the wrong person to ask, but yeah, I've never heard of that before. So
did you get a chance to talk to Dirk?
A little bit, yeah. We had a few conversations, and he was busy though, working there and flying around, watching all the games. So. But I got to see him.
What's it like having your older brother just linger around? Is it a bit annoying for you?
No, not at all. It was really cool, not just for me, but I think for the whole team there. He's a big part of the group. Brought his usual energy to the practices, even though he wasn't necessarily participating. So we're all kind of sad when he had to leave, but obviously he had to get healthy, and it was cool for me having him there.
Could you name one specific element of the European style of play that's completely different from the NBA now that you have a season under your belt?
The rules are different. Smaller court, 3-point line is closer, and biggest difference probably the 3-second rule in the paint. Defenders can just linger in the paint as long as they want, which obviously makes it harder to score in there. So it's probably the biggest difference.
So you would say it's harder to score in Eurobasket than it is in the NBA?
Based on the rules, yes, for sure. It's for sure harder.
What have you seen of Paolo so far, and what are your impressions?
I wasn't in practice, obviously, because I was overseas, but talking to him, talking to some of the other guys, I think everybody's really impressed, and I'm very excited to get to play with him and get to work with him every day.
While you were away, this place got finished getting built.
Yeah.
This just like all the facilities you had growing up in Germany.
Yeah, no, not at all. We were fortunate when we had one working court, I guess. So having this, obviously the locker room and stuff, the weight room, just super nice. So I'm very excited to get to work here.
All right, Mo. Just how you feeling? Obviously, we saw that you couldn't play for Germany this summer. How do you come into training camp feeling?
I feel great. It was frustrating that I couldn't do that and that I couldn't play because it means a lot to me, and I've been looking forward to that for a long time. So that was a frustrating couple of weeks. But now the perks of it that I'm ready now physically. So that's the number one thing, the priority, right, for an athlete to be healthy, and that's kind of what I had to take care of.
See your brother have such success and the team have such success. How nice was that to see over there?
Well, I'm not sure, like, for Americans, how to explain it to Americans, because it's so valuable for the broader German basketball context, what those guys did and achieved this summer. and it's only to be continued. I always joke that basketball got sexier, but that's really what it is over there, that people want to watch it, that public media wants to show it. That's huge for the sport that's growing and way behind soccer. So that's something that we can't take for granted, the steps that they made, and the national team does that. So I'm very happy that that happened.
The last 2 summers, you having such success in the Olympic, qualifiers, and then Franz this summer at Eurobasket. What has that meant to your family, seeing you two, achieve on the international stage?
Well, I think I'm not sure. I wouldn't consider us patriotic. I think it's just from a logistics standpoint to be able to play at home in front of people that are from the same country as us is pretty cool. To be able to have the whole family there at the same time, those moments you don't get here. It's just logistically almost impossible to have all your friends in the same city. To be able to enjoy that together is something that's very special, and yeah, that's why we've really embraced it, and it means a lot because it's not about money, it's not business. It's just you win or go home. So it's kind of the ultimate pure example of competing, and it makes it very enjoyable.
Well, how cool is it for you to be present for the retirement of Dirk's jersey? Wasn't that kind of a really special moment for you?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, obviously Dirk plays a huge role, a huge part in German basketball, and back then basketball was sexy in Germany, and there's kind of that gap in the last 10 to 15 years where it kind of fell off a little bit, and to kind of see that connection between that back then, they won the silver medal at the Euros back then, and now the bronze medal. That is cool that you kind of pick it up and that you're part of that movement.
For you, what is the biggest thing you worked on or want to add to your game over the off season?
Honestly, at this point, I'm trying to. I know what I can do on the court. I think it's about perfecting that, but at the same time, it's mentally just knowing what your role is. Calm down a little bit. I think be content with what you do, and just quiet down a little bit. Like not quiet, but calm down on the court. Do the things that you do consistently and with conviction, and that's something I'm focusing on and kind of stay in my lane.
How competitive do you expect these practices to be when you look at, you have so many young guys, sort of the old saying, iron sharpens iron. Just how competitive do you expect training camp to be amongst your group?
Well, in a young team, people forget, people always act like in young teams there's no competition because everybody's so young, everybody's going to get a chance. I think it's different. I think in young teams the competition is higher because the roles aren't defined. So I think that's going to play a huge role in training camp. It's going to be important for us, and that's how it's supposed to be. That's what we do. We want to win ultimately, so we should attack every day like we want to.
Where are you as far as the injury? Are you 100% ready to go tomorrow? Are there restrictions, or are you good to go?
Yes, I'm good to go.
Okay.
What have you seen out of Paolo so far, and what have you liked?
You're not asking me what I didn't like? No, I'm just kidding. It's awesome. I said it earlier. It's one of the coolest things to be able to play in this league. That the talent I've shared the court with and played together with, practice with, it's incredible. And obviously, I have a first pick and be able to have the privilege to practice with a young guy like that at that talent level is incredible. It's one of the things I enjoy most about the NBA. And I'm excited to see him play. Obviously, he has to grow. Everybody has to grow, but I'm excited to grow with him and to see him develop.
What's it like still being able to play with your brother? I asked him earlier if you were being a bit annoying to him over the summer, or vice versa. Are you the one getting annoyed by him?
No, I don't think we get. We have some healthy adult conversations, discussions at some point, just like everybody does. But I think we're very close relationship, very honest relationship. So if one pisses off the other, it's okay to say that and leave the room. And then after practice, we get together. So there's no hard feelings, and I think we're really enjoying this experience to kind of share this with the family and to share it amongst each other is really cool and special.
You had a game last season in Charlotte. You and Franz combined for around 45 points. Do you guys have a certain style of play on the court that makes it easier for you guys to kind of synergize?
That's a good question because I never really played with Franz, but I do pick up sometimes in practice when we're together too that I know exactly what he's looking for, which is funny because I've never played with him, but there's this kind of I'm not sure if it's because of similar school, similar education, basketball education, but it's kind of thing. Playing without the ball is emphasized in Europe more than it is in America, so sometimes I sense a certain similarity there and know exactly what he's looking for and know how to cut when he has the ball, and the other way around I think as well. I think there's a common understanding of the game, which is natural when you grow up in a similar way.
And also he stated it was harder to score for him in EuroLeague than it is for him to score in the NBA. Would you also agree with that?
I think if anyone says that's not the case, they're lying, because that is the fact. It's a different game. It's the court is smaller. There's no 3 seconds. I mean, I can just continue. It's so difficult to score over there. You got to use your head a lot more. You got to shoot bad shots too if you want to score a lot of points. And to do that efficiently, you got to be really, really good. So he is not lying.
What was your experience like on the set of Hustle, and how did that opportunity get presented to you?
So funny people ask me that now because it came out recently, but it's like 2 years ago. No, it was great. I mean, it's so much fun to be able to have that experience, the people around it, to see how that production works, and such a different world, man, and to be able to be in that position, get the opportunity. It's very special. I'm very grateful that basketball puts me in places like that, and don't take that for granted.
Did you get to spend any time with Adam Sandler?
Well, we had to shoot a scene together, so yeah, of course, you kind of have to figure stuff out on the fly, because there's not a lot of planning. You're there for a day or two, and you kind of have to figure stuff out, and it's incredible to see how good he is at what he does. Really just a playground for him. He just shows up and does what he does. It's amazing. And you like meditate during the scene. You don't want to mess up, and he just does it like breathing. It's pretty incredible to watch.
Anybody recognize you just on this like randomly on the street from that movie and call you like, hey,
yes, no, I mean they don't use the nickname, but people do ask me sometimes if I was in the movie, and I still get text messages from people that I didn't tell nobody because I never knew how big the scene would be, or you never would be, and even if it's a cool surprise. So I still got people texting me sometimes. It's funny.
Can we expect more acting roles for you in the future?
Well, if you know somebody, let them know, but I'm open.
What about in the media? Ever be a post-game analysis?
I'm not sure if the media. No, let me figure this basketball thing out for a couple more years, and then maybe we'll see.
How excited are you for the future of the German national team moving forward?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that's just the beginning. I joke with Franz, like, I'm happy I only won bronze, because that gives you a motivation to come back next year and win the gold, and don't have that to be a surprise or just a coincidence. I think that's very important, that you go into that with that swag and that mentality of saying, yo, we're here to stay, and we've built something that took a couple of years, and now we're here for good, and this is not luck, and you got to take us serious and kind of have that swagger, you know, because if you don't bring it, nobody else is going to believe it, and I'm excited to be part of that.
I assume that's like a similar idea you have towards this Magic team, where you kind of have to prove yourselves this coming season after a few rough seasons of losing.
Yeah, I mean, always 100%, but honestly, external opinions, like, I don't really care. So about that, like, all what matters is what happens here in between those walls, and the people that are working here, and I think everybody's on the same page about what has to be done in order to make the next step.